7 o'clock in St. Louis. You're listening to the Morning After. It's presented to you by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN and on the TMA STL YouTube channel. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Martin Kilcoyne with you here in the Stiefel Studios. Jackie Papers on the ones and twos. Chairman Kurt taking your phone calls, filtering your emails. Here is the way you can get involved. Why? It's a wide variety of ways. Calling in the Callier and Thompson phone lines at 314-974-0101. Texting into the Air Comfort Service text inbox 314-399-9646. And, of course, you are welcome to open up your YouTube app, type in TMA STL, and then talk it over in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat and email in for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Doug, is there another way we can give the audience a way to participate in this program?
We could all invite them in because ours is the type of show where friends are welcome at any time.
Thought they could drop by.
They can drop by, sure.
Thank you.
I don't know that we could fit them all in here. Perhaps we could.
Oh, taking a shot at the audience's weight again.
Well,
Hey, I want to ask you a big favor. How about I come up to the station on Friday? Could I come up and meet you?
no. Okay, that's the policy.
That's out.
All right.
But he thought about it for a little while. Gave it some consideration.
Well, they're already gathered in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat. We're grateful for that because with After the Morning After, Doug, many will sit in the YouTube chat now for 5 straight hours. And maybe Jackson and I can do a QFTA today and make it 15 straight hours.
What's the most you've ever done in one day? Do you know?
24.
24 straight hours of
Telethon.
broadcasting.
Up on a billboard.
That's
Won't come down until the Cardinals win the pennant.
That's right. So you can participate in the program, but right now Doug Vaughn has a very important Sadie Hawkins. According to the Polos Plus dossier, the lead is the Sixers shocking the Celtics and the Spurs beating the Blazers last night. And, of course, the Wild beating the Stars in Dallas. I kind of liked what the Cardinals did in their red caps, though. So I'm going to yield to you, Doug, with the Sadie Hawkins.
Well, I think in St. Louis, our lead is obviously the St. Louis Cardinals.
Did you see the Spurs Blazers?
Oh, no. But the Cardinals continue to hang in there. Sometimes it's not pretty, but they're getting wins more often than not. So that's been surprising and nice to see.
Gosh. I thought the lead was Doug getting yelled at by the Mizzou alumni yesterday. Man,
I thought
he
that
just
was
stirred it up.
live. I thought that was live.
Papers walked in just right in the middle. It was red hot.
Yeah.
Doug was proposing SLU get to play Mizzou, and there's no reason they shouldn't. And, boy, the Tiger faithful were not happy with the true son.
I have to be honest with you, Martin is not exaggerating this.
It was hilarious. Great time, a lot of fun at Llewellyn's, a little Tiger Club with St. Louis. Somehow Doug became the spokesperson for Billiken basketball, and the crowd turned.
Well, you say somehow, but it's been well documented that Doug, and all of us, for that matter, are receiving cash payments from St. Louis University.
Right.
And Doug reviewed his contract. Martin and I did not. And even when you are speaking at the Missouri club, Tiger Club, you have to still carry Billiken water. And you did it. Martin and I will not be getting our payments.
Okay. I merely stated that I thought it would be fair if Mizzou and St. Louis U played a home-and-home schedule. You know, pump up the rivalry a little bit. And this gentleman said, no, we get 2, they get 1 game. I said, well, is that really fair? SLU is basketball's, at least this year, on the same level, maybe even a notch above Mizzou basketball this year.
Not according to Jackson's rankings.
Well, okay. But I was arguing the fact I think it would be reasonable and fair and good for both sides if they maybe played every year, every other year.
You tune into the news some nights and there's a town hall and the politicians are up there and the crowd's just sort of angry. For a second there, I had that feeling like we were
losing them.
Slightly under attack. We exaggerate slightly, but the SLU Mizzou topic was live with our little discussion. But it was a lot of fun. It reminded me a lot of my college career, just surrounded by men. Not a lot of females in the crowd, but it was a ton of fun. Appreciated the invite. And you guys are busy doing your show with Viva Lestrode. I I studied the Mizzou too deep from the spring because I'm like, okay, oh, that's right. Olugbaday's back. Oh, that's Ahmad Hardy. He's good.
Here we go.
Austin
Here we go.
Simmons.
Fight Tigers. See you in
Boy.
Athens, undefeated. Bulldogs.
Boy, let's see. We got to go on the road. Okay. None of it came into play.
No,
'cause
there
it was great. They talked NIL and transfer and all things Mizzou. Thanks to the Tiger Club for putting Doug in his place.
Yeah, it was time. It was high time.
Poor Jackson walked in right in the middle of that, and he just grabbed the mic and said, hello, everybody.
Just tried to be delightful.
Yeah, you were.
Thank you.
You can hold Doug accountable for his opinions at 314-974-0101. Call in. Callier and Thompson phone lines. Text in. Air Comfort Service text inbox 314-399-9646. And you can talk it over in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat. Shocking, aggrieved Mizzou fan would hate something that is reasonable and fair. That's from Big Tuft. And away we go. Just like that, the lead, brought to you by Lifetime Roofing, is now lit on fire, and it is now Missouri St. Louis University because of Doug standing up there and holding your bag of cash from St. Louis University.
And really blistering these Tiger fans.
That's right.
Well, then in a twist, Tim, a late-night twist, Brian Kunderman, sports information director at St. Louis U, known as The Dish, sends me a picture of Doug and his son Nick talking to Coach Schertz.
Wow.
And I said, wow, that's interesting. I said, this true son earlier in the day was wearing black and gold, and here he is at night hanging with the Bills.
I mean, I think it's at this point, it's probably time for an admission and maybe a Twitter. What is it, a notes? You use your notes app, Jackson, and you post that on the Twitter tweets, and then people are like, oh, no problem.
Yeah, right. They're very receptive to it.
Can a gentleman not be fans of two different teams?
Nope.
Can't do that?
That doesn't work that way.
All right. Well, I am. I'm fans of
How was the
both.
event? You were down there. The Billikens had a nice event at Chaffetz.
I was also there.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, Tim was there with the family.
I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
yeah.
I knew you talked about going.
I was a little irritated that I wasn't the keynote
Acknowledged.
speaker. Well, Doug and his son Nick, who is just a delight. We were standing in line together, and then Doug's phone died.
Died, of course.
And
Battery
Jackson
dead.
says Doug versus technology is a.
It's a battle that rages on.
Technology is undefeated.
Why my battery
100%.
dies so fast, I do not know. But it
And I
does.
suggested the I don't know what the low power option, I suppose.
Yeah.
So like when my battery is up here, Doug, it's orange. Watch this. It's not orange. It's orange.
Orange?
Outside.
Okay.
Is yours orange or is it green?
It's white. Says I got 93%.
Okay.
Orange or green? White.
Well,
It's an Irish flag.
yeah, it's the Irish flag. Exactly right. If you switch it to low power, it'll last longer. But I don't know. How
Jackson,
old
this
is
is
the
when
phone?
you tell Tim, don't bother.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
not. It's less than a year old.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What the hell's going on?
I don't know.
So anyway, I started taking pictures of Doug when he was talking to Coach Schertz and Nick Vaughn, who is a delight and couldn't be kinder to my children. And we were hanging out at the Billiken event, which really was a great event. No BS. I mean, for me, it's about going there, just like I know it is for you, Doug, with your son and me going there with my sons. But they did a hell of a job. Saw Bob Ramsey, who's a big fan of the Jeff Suppan call-ins. Said that. Jeff Suppan now at 10 straight days at 10 o'clock. But today we believe it's his day off. Although, Martin, I know you were in onboarding yesterday. I don't know if they piped it in. But he said he's got a mass today at 8:15 Pacific. And so he's going to call in, but it's going to have to be quick hitters because he's got to go to the mass at 10:15 St. Louis time.
Okay.
So
he's got a hard out.
quick, that's exactly right. The rare hard out
Like
for Suppan, which might benefit all
Suppan,
parties,
yeah.
honestly. We might be grateful for this
Keep
mass.
the clock on track,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Speaking of Bob Ramsey, when they play highlights like they did last night, I think the Billikens are really lucky to have held on to him for 40-some years.
He's so good,
He
and
could
it's
be
got
doing
nothing to
it
do with the
anywhere.
fact that we have a rapport with
Yeah.
him. He really is.
I'm surprised he's hadn't been in a broadcast network or the NBA somewhere, because he's as good as anybody I hear do any games anywhere.
They were showing the highlights of the season, and I was thinking the exact same thing because they didn't use the husband and wife team.
No.
that was available in Dayton.
I think it was
for local
Dayton.
cable access.
They were using the what would you call it? Low angle B-roll, Doug. I think that's
Well, I
the right
wouldn't say
term.
B-roll, just video.
And that had Bob Ramsey's radio call over it. And I was sitting there thinking the exact same thing. And I agree with you on that. He's truly outstanding. I think sometimes, understandably so, in our industry, everybody's great, in part because we know them, and in part because most people aren't going to sit there and light them up if they don't think so, because it is subjective. But I do think he is exactly what you would want if you have your hometown guy calling a game.
Because not
Passion,
only
the
good
energy, loves it.
Yeah, good at calling the game, but also a homer, which is what you want. If it's
Yeah.
your team, passionate, and a little bit of edge, too. It's not always sappy or saccharine. There's a little bit of edge there, too, which
Why
I
does
enjoy.
Doug hate Earl? That's from Kwame Vujicic
Oh,
the fourth.
here we
Martin's
go.
never good enough for Kwame Vujicic the fourth.
The crowd turns
Earl, too.
again.
They're quite a team. And gave Martin credit for his big call on Sharma. Sharma.
I didn't know that you were responsible for instant Sharma.
Early in the season, I texted Rammer, and I said, how about this for a nickname? Because he's off the bench, Doug, so he's kind of like instant offense, knocking down those threes. Sharma, karma, instant karma. He said, love it. I'll give you credit one time, and that's it.
Oh,
that was at the beginning of the year.
Well, he did. I can vouch for it. Doug can vouch for it.
Thanks, Rammer.
He did.
And then my colleague, Jordan Williams, who was at the event, came back to the Two Fox. We were talking about it. He said, now, what is the origin? He wasn't familiar with the John Lennon song, Instant Karma. So
Wow.
for some...
Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, he's probably...
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm familiar with the Mills brothers.
Well,
I
that's
wasn't
true.
born when they were doing Glowworm.
All right, now I got to go hold him
Yeah,
accountable.
it's time to hold him
He needs some
accountable.
onboarding.
Yeah.
Instant Karma, which papers you're aware of the song, the great John Lennon. Out on a limb there.
Yeah,
Great
you're
John
aware of
Lennon.
Sean Mullen's Lullaby, and you weren't born when that came out.
I didn't like that song.
How dare you?
What about his follow-up?
You get a follow up?
Tough
I don't know.
tough putt on that one.
I don't know.
He just goes around the country and plays Lullaby like Tone Loc does Wild Thing over and over and over again. Sprinkles in Funky Cold Medina. One more time with Wild Thing. Off we go. We'll see you at Pops next year.
And Tone Loc was in Heat? He was
Tone
working
Loc
in the
was
kitchen.
in Heat.
And also Ace Ventura?
Not the kitchen. Dennis, I'd get that wrong
He's
every
in the
time.
nightclub. Dennis Hayes puts it on the kitchen.
The nightclub. God, I could watch that on a loop.
Let's watch that on a loop today.
Well-
Take some edge off that Tiger Club meeting.
My favorite was the guy to my right, if you like logistics.
For everybody who was watching.
And
on
he
the stream.
said, and I'm being serious, I had a great time. It was a fun event. There were a lot of laughs. It was just a great, candid conversation. But to my right, I had to kind of turn this way, kind of like Kurt behind me. He said, you keep talking about the transfer portal. What's the solution?
I thought that guy was going to fight you.
And I said, I'm sorry, he goes, what's the solution? And I said, well, and I thought he meant who would be able to fix it. And I said, well, Congress is going to try. Yeah, but what's the solution? And then he offered up. He said, I think a 5-year maximum, you transfer once. After that, you sit out. And I said, okay, now we're on the same page.
Right.
By the way, you're going to finish that cheeseburger. Okay. That's how the conversation went.
So you went over and took the
Yes.
rest of this cheeseburger.
It was fun.
Meeting in this town song. How about that?
It was lively, which is good because a lot of times those things can be kind of boring, but that was lively.
But there is nothing like seeing the media eat.
I wish I had the audio papers. Hello, everybody.
Mizzou fan is the same as St. Charles guy. Absolutely clueless and zero self-awareness of their Hoosierdom. Doug, that's from Lady Sonia's teacup, and it doesn't sound like he was at the event yesterday.
Well, they stick up for their team. They stick up for their school. I think it's unreasonable to think that Missouri should have more games than St. Louis U if they were ever to play again, and I don't think that's even on the horizon.
That was the proposal, was that Mizzou and SLU would play, but the Tigers would host twice. Deal breaker, and the crowd yesterday very much in favor. And I said, if I were SLU, I think I would just do it to do it and say, why not? We'll play wherever, anytime, anywhere.
They
pal.
probably would. They probably
But
would.
at this point, they might.
All right, cut it off. I'm done. We just addressed that. I'm not listening to the rest of that.
Okay.
That's a terrible call. It's football. Please call next time.
Yeah, Colonel.
But for business purposes, please call next time. Which is good.
Gabe's post-game show was brought up in the
Yes.
questions. How about that? I guess they're grateful that we've promoted it, for lack of a better term, and the TMA audience has infiltrated it, as you just heard there with the Colonel's exchange. My younger son, all he wanted to do was see Robbie Avila. That's it. Everything. You witnessed that, Doug.
Yes, I did.
Firsthand. Now, there was a second meeting later on in the evening when people had filtered out and we were just hanging around. And I said, okay, I'll reintroduce you. And he goes, I want to show you how fast I am. And Robbie Avila says, you want to show me how fast you are? And he goes, yes. And with that, he just started running around Chaffetz Arena and then slid on the ground. And Robbie Avila, like I was quite confused.
Oh, but impressed probably.
And then called him safe. And and that was the exchange. I don't know what that was about, but he walked up to Robbie Avila and said, I got to show you how fast I am. And the 4-year-old then began to run around the arena to the delight or confusion of the Atlantic 10 Player of the Year.
Did you get some video of that?
I do have video of that.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I do have video of that.
I appreciate how Avila, he refers to coach as just shirts.
Shirts.
He just calls
They
them
all do, too.
They just call them shirts. Not coach shirts, but just shirts.
Avila has to be one of the more recognizable, just visually, of any athlete in St. Louis right now. I mean, if you saw him in a restaurant or at the mall or walking the street, I think as many people would recognize Robbie Avila as just about any other athlete St. Louis has got right now.
And have you ever seen him without the goggles?
No.
Almost never.
No.
He was
Good
wearing
guy.
it last night.
Yeah. Smart guy, too. If you've never heard him talk, all those guys in St. Louis U, and have been for years, they're all impressive people. I don't know if they actually have to go to school at St. Louis U, unlike some other colleges. But they've always had impressive guys playing at St. Louis U.
These haters of Mizzou are the exact reason we should not give the little Billikens any piece of our ass. Doug, that's from the St. Raphael Godfather.
The Little Billikens? What was that in reference to?
You'll have to ask the St. Raphael
Okay.
Godfather, who can call in and move to the
open
front
them
of
up,
the ladies.
Doug. It's Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesdays are always for phone calls here. Callier and Thompson phone lines, Little St. Raphael Godfather. You can call in at 314-974-0101. I've got ties to St. Raphael's. It's where my dad went to school. It's where my brother Kevin's kid goes to school. We're all for St. Raphael's, especially the Godfather. So call in, 314-974-0101, and we can figure out what, and maybe we can workshop this and find some form of peace, some form of, at the very least, détente.
And now people are sending in other recognizable St. Louis sports. I guess everyone would know Jordan Walker, and they know Jordan Bennington. Maybe Colton Parayko. If just a casual person were to see
Jackson,
these
would you
people.
recognize Colton Parayko?
Yeah.
I call.
No, I would.
Well, he's so
That's fine.
Really
so
tall.
big.
I'll call.
Yeah.
Tall and blonde.
I have sevens. It's a dry board. I'll call.
Him and Jordan Bennington and Kyrou and Robert Thomas would probably be the only 4 Blues I would recognize.
Clip that off.
Oh, Monty, the coach, you'd probably recognize.
Yeah, for sure. Any coach I would recognize.
Yeah.
But
Logan Mayu.
no dice.
I might be there with you.
That's a no-go.
It's a tough one.
Dylan Holloway.
Nope.
JR says he's going to get a 6-year deal.
Good on him.
Is JR really here today? I thought
Yeah.
he wasn't here during the offseason. I'm so confused. So he is every Wednesday?
He's JR.
He's JR.
There's your answer,
He's a friend
Mo.
of the program.
I
Just write
stand
that
down. I'm going to stand down.
Brought to you by Mark Cann of Evergreen Wealth Strategies.
He's JR. Is he here today? He's JR.
Yep, that's the answer. I believe friend of the program, Mike McGreevy, is calling in today.
Oh, I was guessing tomorrow with the day game. Okay.
No, he texted yesterday. I don't know if you had already gone to onboarding when, and I don't know if I had read this, but I feel like I probably should have. Just apropos of nothing, like at 10:30 on, let's see, today is Wednesday, Monday night. He said this, which I think some Cardinal fans would appreciate. Doug, I was already in a pill-induced haze.
Oh,
But 10:38 said, forgot to text you after the game, but damn, what great crowds from the St. Louis fans last weekend. Me and the boys were stoked to see it. So he wanted to share that. And I said, hey, the door is always open. Don't feel obligated, but call in anytime. And he said, hey, is now a good time? I said, well, your boy Suppan's about to call in, I believe. And he said, let Sup call in today. I'll call in after we win tonight. And you know what? Prophetic. Last night, the boys raked, eh?
Is it scripted, Doug? MLB? Seems like he knew they were going to win.
Yeah. Judging from that crowd in Pittsburgh, it looks like Pirate fans have settled back into the we don't give a rat's patoot philosophy. 8,000 some there.
How many of Battlehawks would you recognize? It's from Bill and Ted on Broadway.
Think
0.
any. Probably not any.
Keaton Butler.
No.
I'm saying for me, not for you.
Fair.
Jason Tatum is probably the most recognizable St. Louis athlete. That's from the amateur proctologist.
That's good.
Well, I just mean people that are based here that you might see just going around town.
Doug, what about one of the city soccer players? And has the season started yet? That's from Ollie Doesn't Know.
I believe
Jackson was there on Saturday.
Holding him accountable.
Roman Burkett, I think people would recognize.
They play tonight in Chicago. But this is the U.S. Open Cup. Don't be confused. It's not the MLS.
For sure. The MLS plays on Saturday.
Every once in a while you get a midweek, but for the most part, yes. Some Sundays.
Well, we'll look for that.
What are we looking for? All right,
those
so
games.
McGreevy's calling in. Some Godfather guy in the city might call in. And we got open phone lines. It's Wednesday.
Yes.
And JR's here because he's JR.
That's correct. So we will have a quick hitter with Suppan, Doug, again before Mass
Okay.
at 10:15 Central. And then I believe McGreevy will be calling in. JR, because it's JR, brought to you by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies. Your Polos Plus dossier has been set for the morning after the morning after from 11 to 12. Jackson, be honest with me. I have a doctor's appointment at 2:30. This is my third appointment on the leg surgery that I'm going to get in China.
Extensions?
Correct. And this is the one where I either get approved or not approved, and I'm trying to get the bigger steel rods put in to get me up to 5'7".
Oh, wow.
But I would be out for a couple of weeks to the delight of the older friends in the 636.
And then you'd come in walking on stilts.
That's correct.
We'd call you High Pockets.
That's right. So that is what I have at 2:30. But what that means is we get done with After the Morning After at high noon. You upload it. It's a whole thing that Papers has to do. And then, I don't know, from 12:30 to 1, I got Spread Zone. Spread Zone, right, Jackson, with a smile on his face. Riz is delighted now that we don't get to start until noon.
Yeah, that is fired
He's
up.
so excited.
Yeah.
He gets here at 3, and now he's got to wait for another hour because we're doing the Geriatric Make-A-Wish podcast.
The Strode program.
Viva Lestrade.
I listened to you guys. Was it Monday? I was tuning in.
You're an HD2 guy.
And then Kiowski came in and threw
Yes,
something.
he did.
And then I lost my connection. It was a lot like opening day where I bumped the cable. The next thing, it's
gone.
Right after you guys had we'll just call it the incident with Kiowski.
That's correct.
I lost my connection, so I need to go back. I'm a little Chris Raby.
Yeah, I can. The QFTA sounds good.
I mean, it could be like a 12:45 to 2. That's a hard out.
Yeah.
It's like Suppan with the hard out. It might be good that there's a hard out with Mass in his case, doctor's appointment in my case.
Yep, I'm ready.
All right, there it is. So you can send your questions in TMCKERNAN at InsideSTL.com. T. McKernan at InsideSTL.com for QFTA. Spread Zone, I've got to dial in my Kentucky Derby knowledge. Anybody know a horse running in that thing? Francesa, do a breakdown.
Just don't bet on the gray horse. The gray horses don't ever seem to win.
I went on a heater with the Chairman Kurt. Have you reviewed it, Spread Zone? I sent you an email on the golf last week. All right. Stalter, here's the plays. Over 1.5 quarterbacks drafted in round 1. He shipped it. Mendoza, Simpson. You covered that by 13. Over 8.5 SEC players drafted in round 1. Did that hit?
Well, I don't know.
Chairman Kurt's counting right now. I see he's finger counting, too. Look.
Okay.
He's got 5.
Nice fingers, Kurt.
You said Joel Goldberg has big fingers?
Oh, he's got big sausage hands.
Does not cover.
No.
Yes, there will be a trade in the top 10 picks. Did that cover? No.
I don't think
Well, the Chiefs moved up, right?
The top 10?
Didn't they get up to 6?
Was that the lead on the 2 Fox that night?
they did pick 6th. Yeah.
But didn't they move up?
There's just no way of knowing either.
Okay, I didn't really pay attention.
The Lakers plus 9.5. Game 3.
Game 3, 9.5.
Yeah.
Lakers. Yeah, they won Game 3, didn't they?
Again, no way of knowing. This stuff
they
isn't
went up
written down.
3-0.
Yeah. But did they cover is the question.
Well, they were getting 9.5, so it's
Never mind.
Thank you.
Good deal. Yeah, they won by 4, so you cover that handsomely.
So Stalter went 3-1.
Big Stults.
Big Stults.
I like the Puma in the Derby, Tim.
The Puma. Lance Berkman's got a horse.
He's 10-1 odds. I like the Puma.
All right, there's my play.
And you're just going based on name?
That's a cool name.
Yeah, it is.
The Puma.
So he's going to ship it 10-1.
That's the way to go with horses. Just bet on the names. Any great horseman will tell you the same thing.
Chiefs went from number 9 to number 6. That counts, right?
I'd say so.
That's a trade.
within
Stalter
the
3-1.
top 10.
Yeah, we actually had a rare good week on the spread zone. I gave you Hayden Springer and Alex Smalley plus 250, top 10. They finished one stroke off. Fitzpatrick brothers to win, 10-1. Fitzpatrick brothers even money, top 10. That was a win. And the dart was Springer and Smalley plus 3,000 to win, and they missed it by a stroke. And this was when the Penguins were only down 2-0. Now they fought back, though, plus 350 to win the series. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull that one off. I need 2 more wins from Joey Vitale's squad. Yeah, spread zone. So I got that. QFTA papers, we'll do that at around 12:30. Does that work?
Perfect.
All right, Doug. So is that 7 hours? Do you want to do 7 hours? To do 4 shows,
fine.
7 hours.
No, thanks. I don't like talking, which is why radio was not a good job for me in the first place.
You give good takes.
Well, the hottest of hot takes at times. But 7 hours, I don't know if I got 7 hours worth of hot takes in me.
Just pick one of the horses. They all have 4 legs and can run. Who cares?
Yeah.
That's from the St. Charles County bookmaker. Doesn't sound like he's excited about the...
I don't hate that.
I think Renegade is your favorite.
Yeah, he is the favorite.
Don't sleep on Erod Ortiz Jr. now.
Why don't you buzz Jay Randolph Sr.? He'd probably have a good play for you.
Yeah. There are guys who handicap. I don't know how successful that is, but there are guys who handicap.
Yeah.
I always say, though, those who know don't talk, and those who talk don't know. See the spread zone as a perfect example. Get involved, call in, text in, email in, or just watch in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat and talk it over. And you can just hang out there now until 2 o'clock. I mean, what a great way to spend a beautiful day in St. Louis in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat. The program's called TMA. It's presented by Brown & Crouppen on 101 ESPN. Ruber Holmes, 81, you think?
I don't know the years, Tim.
I think it's earlier.
Really? Should I go 80? I mean, but if I'm pre-82,
I think
people
80
know I'm
is
not
safe.
infallible. I can speak infallibly.
80 is safe because it gets you
82 and after.
79. It's, what is it?
1979.
Nice,
Oh,
Martin.
there you go. See? And this was an Ozark.
All right.
Kind of, wasn't it at the endings, like kind of cheeky after somebody's shot they played this? Is that right?
It's kind of
Papers.
Scorsese-ish then.
That sounds right, yeah. Juxtaposition.
What is our theme here?
I think I'm just going to do songs.
About cuckoldry?
Could do that or just named after adult beverages. Seems to be a treasure trove of that.
You don't see a meat and potatoes guy drinking a pina colada often.
When they're on vacation.
Think so?
If they're kicking back. Yeah. If they're not afraid of what people think of them. Which to me is the test of a real man.
Meat and potatoes, man.
Well, it might not be as blue collar as, some other beverages, but I've always talked about the working man's daiquiri.
Working man's daiquiri.
This song basically celebrates a husband and wife who put ads in the paper to cheat on themselves. Awful. Sharon and Clayton, not a fan.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do?
It's still a catchy tune. Regardless of the lyrics, it's still kind of catchy.
Let's be nice on that moral high ground.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, you said I want some today. You're going to get it. Oh, yeah, you're going to get it. Denzel Washington. Get involved on the program, 314-974-0101. Collier and Thompson phone lines, Air Comfort Service text inbox, 314-399-9646. That's how you can text into the show. Starting on Friday, Jackson, you're only 48 hours away from getting update the names in the text inbox.
Oh, bully.
Yep. Then you got that Michelob Ultra YouTube chat where friends have gathered this morning. Scorsese, the Devil's Crotch, and the TMA Remote Lamp are all talking to Classy Ralph Klassen. And, of course, the deep voice dude is in there having an individual conversation about the NBA, this time with the Charlotte Hornets takes. Any thoughts on the Hornets?
Boy, if they can just stay healthy and hit their shots when they really need them, I think they'll be better off than they are now.
They were the Hornets, then they were the Bobcats. Now they're the Hornets, and there's always a ball on the team?
Yes.
Okay.
Quinn Snyder taking the L last night in the Garden. Not a whole lot there, Jackson, even though there was some tension before the game.
Yeah, anytime you're going up in MSG, you're going to be up against it, and then they got absolutely worked over. Let Jalen Brunson go off for a 39-piece.
39-piece, Doug.
39-piece.
The Cardinals with the win last night. We believe Mike McGreevy will be calling in. We're confident Jeff Suppan is going to be calling in. Last night got some offense, and it was Victor Scott going yard, dug into the Allegheny.
Yeah, he didn't just hit it out. He hit it clear out of the stadium.
While Danny Wexelman of the broadcast team was interviewing Jose Fermin in the dugout. This became Jose Fermin's home run call.
Since third inning. Oh, come on! Sorry. Come on, man! Let's go! sorry. I got too excited.
I didn't know he had that kind of power in him. That was a blast.
Mm-hmm.
Barrel season.
Landed in the Allegheny, and then he said his dad went to Allegheny High School.
Can we hear the audio?
Sure.
I saw your reaction after your home run. What was going on in your mind?
It's a good way to break out of something, man. That's what it feels like to catch a barrel. So, that just felt really good, and just all the prayers and all the blessings. I can't do anything but thank God. So,
You've been working on your offense and in that box. What are things you've been focused on?
just a more profound approach, just releasing the barrel. Hitting line drives to shortstop is good in theory, but when you don't get that barrel out there, it's a little tough. So I just try to release the barrel and keep working hard.
Your ball went into the Allegheny. You got a splash home run. Does that mean anything to you?
Yeah. I mean, that was for my dad. I know he's probably watching this, my dad and my mom, but my dad's from Pittsburgh, so he went to Allegheny High School. So to hit one in that river, I mean, that one's for you, Dad. I know you're looking at this. That one's for you, Pops.
How about that?
That was nice.
The audio was great.
I was the most clean audio.
Yeah.
Thinking, because it was on the field. I don't know what they were using to completely eliminate.
Sounded like they were doing a podcast.
Yeah, like all crowd noise.
Well, there wasn't a crowd there.
Getting ready for the Penguins game.
But that, like, I'm curious what kind of microphone they were using there.
Well, that audio, I don't think it aired that way. That's what's interesting.
Because you would hear, Doug, is that channel 2?
A little bit of gnat sound.
Ambient noise?
Yeah, could
That's
be.
a very clean version of
Guys, was that interview done in a quiet room? That's from Grandma Johan.
Very odd.
That could be the middle of the stadium is a quiet space. There
Must
are
be
no
real.
fans there.
Victor Scott Guest closed his eyes and hoped for the best. He sucks at hitting. That's from Eric in the Central West
No,
End.
well,
Not happy with
with the
the
home
home run. No. But the Cardinals get all kinds of offense last night. Nolan Gorman going yard as well. Pirates in a rough spot with having to go through a bunch of pitchers on Monday night, and the Cardinals were able to get to them, capitalizing on that, and they get their second straight win in Pittsburgh. They improved to 16-13 on the year, and they remain 3 games back of the Cincinnati Reds, who are 19-10. The National League Central, Doug, just chock full of ball clubs above 500. Only division in baseball where everyone is above 500, including the Pirates, who have now lost 3 straight, 2 of which came at the hands of the Cardinals.
And they really, until now, have not been playing divisional rivals. So I guess that's a pretty good indication that compared to the rest of the league, especially the American League, the National League Central is pretty strong, at least for the first month.
Jordan Walker, couple of hits. 3 ribbies. Burleson, 3 ribbies. Gorman, 3 ribbies. Wynn had a couple of hits. Everybody in the lineup had a hit. You've taken the first 2. Skeens is sitting out there on Thursday. Let's get tonight. I'll live with that. I won't make a peep about a getaway lineup on Thursday.
Yeah, don't blame them.
And I know they've had some success against Skeens, but they pounded him, I think, 1 time. Other than that, they've just had some good luck and been able to win games that he started. But I think Thursdays, that get the series win tonight. Doug, you always focus on the series.
I don't. Only in the playoffs.
Go up 3-0 tonight. It's be big.
Yeah. And I say play every one like you want to win it. Don't give him any getaway day giveaways.
Rest up for the
Put a good
Dodgers,
lineup up
fellas.
there.
Let's start the bus early on Thursday. Get the plane ready.
Some of these guys just
Get the
had
win
2
tonight.
days off. They had 2 days off and then played 2 series, and now they need more time off? No, get them out there.
Let's go all in tonight.
Bubba Chandler will get the ball for the Pirates. Palante for the Cardinals. Chandler hadn't been too good, by the way. So, see if the Cardinals can get that 3rd win, and then the Skeens getaway day lineup, in which the game will be played in 97 minutes.
Yeah.
97 minutes,
Probably
and the boys
so.
will be able to tee off by 4:30 here in St. Louis.
Pretty bad sign last night. They go to the 9th. It's 11-6. And I said to producer Dave, I said, I think I trust Swanson here, but I'm not positive. And I said, this is the guy I predicted would lead them in saves back in March. And it's 11-6. And I think he can be trusted here. Of course, gives up a home run immediately.
Right.
But then he struck out the side. So you've gotten some rest for Romero, O'Brien. Win the series tonight, Doug.
And they use Brule almost every night, it seems. I think he's been in more games than any pitcher they have. And he got hit pretty hard last night.
Guys, forfeit the game on Thursday so nobody has to play. That's from Jesse Spano's dealer.
Well, they're giving Hunter Dobbins a chance.
Well, I just don't think conditions are so difficult for them that they can't man up and play another game Thursday like they want to win it.
Here comes Doug, not knowing math. Dude, if you win every series, you win 108 games. It's from the 636.
Yeah, dude.
Not necessarily, because some series are 4 games. Occasionally they play a 2-game series. They still do that? Maybe not.
You're
very
arguing
often
with
anymore.
yourself at
Feels
this
like it's the
point.
Royals.
They
when
used
do
to.
those.
The Royals like to do those?
Well, no, I think when the Cardinals and Royals play, they've had a few of those where
yeah.
they get 2 and 2. I'm an expert, you bitch.
Oh.
Can I ask for context on my own drop?
It's a good question. Not sure.
Because I sound angry, but I don't remember.
Sounds like you're reading something.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't remember caring that much about anything. Well, that was fun. Seeing the first time in double digits this season.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Got to 9-1 on Saturday, outburst. So that's within this short window here from Saturday now to Tuesday night. Couple of games where the offense has shown a pulse.
Scoring a lot more runs than I thought they would. Because you look at the lineup and you still say, well, I don't know. But they're scoring runs.
And that Weatherholt I looked it up. He's not, I thought he'd be among the league leaders in run score because every game, even if he has just a hit, gets a walk, an air, reaches, whatever. He is currently 7th in the big leagues in runs scored. Every game you look up, he's got at least a run.
Yeah. He and Herrera are not exactly tearing the cover off the ball in terms of average, but you look at their on-base percentage. Herrera's on base is .414. He's already walked 23 times this year.
Well, you know he's got a good eye because of the ABS. He's 9 for 10 in challenges, or he was coming into this series as a catcher. And then as a hitter, he was 5 out of 7.
Mm-hmm.
So he must have a great eye.
I guess.
And Nolan Gorman got his eye back, but I think Herrera's had an eye.
How about this from Marcia's Burner? Jordan Walker is going to hit his first home run since summer of '98's debut tonight. You can bet it. That's from Marcia's Burner. And he's in Storrs, Connecticut? Is that right?
I don't know where he is.
Let me see if I can get you some numbers on that, Doug, if you want to make that play. That's up to you if you want to make that play.
Sure.
Jackson sometimes advises. What was your play yesterday, Martin?
Oh, let's not talk about it.
Oh, no.
It was the Buffalo-Boston. I had the over there, and it ended up being a low-scoring overtime game. Boston winning on the road, Doug, in Buffalo.
Oh, really?
Forcing a Game 6 back in Boston, but it was low scoring.
No, they're nervous in Buffalo now. They're used to heartbreak in Buffalo. And alas, now the Bruins get to go back to Boston. Could we see a Game 7 in Buffalo? The place would be up for snatch grabs.
Buffalo suffered as much heartbreak as probably just about any sports market, I would think.
Were you
with
in the
Super Bowls.
conversation? I was having some, I think maybe you guys had already left. I was talking after we did the Tiger Club thing yesterday with some of the, people in charge of the event. And we were debating this, and it's coming from a good place. You mentioned Buffalo with regard to heartbreak, 99, Brett Hull, Dallas Stars, Stanley Cup Final, Dominik Hasek. Of course, more famously, the Buffalo Bills. Fan base that's experienced the most heartache, and I really do think you can put the Missouri Tiger fan base in there. And that's not coming from I went to Missouri, so that's how I view it. But when you're talking about some of the outlier things that have happened, whether it be the 5th down against a team that won the national championship, the 4.8 seconds in Tyus Edney against a team that would go on to win the national championship, the flea kicker against Nebraska, who would go on to win the national championship, and then Norfolk State went on to win the national.
Well, I don't know about that.
Okay, then Jackson needs to update his notes.
It's been suggested on this very show that the problem was those rocks in the end zone. Remember that they were giving off bad karma.
I'm sure every program has a terrible loss or a big-time recruit that didn't pan out. But if you're USC or UCLA or Michigan or Nebraska or Oklahoma or Alabama, you've had so many big moments that it kind of balances out. I think that's what's missing for Mizzou is the championship or a championship run, and then you kind of forget about all the negative stuff. It's on top of the fact that
how we've suffered.
Yeah. Hello again, everybody.
We have suffered badly.
I mean, it was the Cubs, but then they got the championship. Sox,
Red Sox.
Now, I mean,
multiple championships.
Yeah, now they're really sitting pretty.
Yeah.
And one of the greatest teams of the 21st century. And the 18 team, I guess the 04 team would be the most famous team, but Missouri doesn't have the championship. So, Papers, how do you feel about that? And you're a true son, I believe.
It's all I want in this life.
It's all you want in this life.
Either basketball or football.
What if I could offer you a threesome with 2 larger ladies? I know that's your kink. Or...
Big old gals?
Taller.
Oh.
That's his kink.
Okay.
We don't kink shame. Or a Missouri national championship in college basketball.
Well, championships are forever.
How about that, Doug?
Look, should I write that down? Let me put the mittens on before you say that again, because that was a hot one. Oh, I just don't want to get burned, fellas.
Right.
Okay, I got them on. Go ahead.
Championships are forever.
Ooh. Okay. Better chance in basketball, I would say, than football. Because basketball, if you get a couple of studs lined up together, you got a shot. Football, you need lots of them. Lots of them. Not just a couple.
Yeah.
The thing is, they've been a lot closer in the 21st century in football, which sounds ridiculous, but one went away from playing for a championship in 07, and one went away from playing in a championship in 13.
Right. I just think if you were to somehow, and maybe they're doing it right now, just get a fantastic recruiting class and 2 or 3 guys really click, you have a shot. 2 or 3 guys in football, it can take more than that.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. Some about football seems like I would say it's equally difficult.
How about that?
I don't know. They just had 6 players drafted in the NFL draft and didn't come close.
Right.
Didn't even get in the playoff.
Right. Well, I think that provides the value of a quarterback.
How about this? I didn't even think about this. Being a fan of St. Louis City hasn't been the easiest. That's from the 636. So City would like to enter into the conversation on.
I think we're talking a little more historical. Because think about any program anywhere nearby, even. Wisconsin has had some big moments, and Penn State, and just going around the country, everybody's had some huge run, whereas Mizzou, I think you could have all the heartbreak and disappointment if you also could point to some of those special seasons.
Championships are forever, Martin.
That's right.
Yeah, did you hear that? Right here. If Jackson headed to Cottleville, he could have himself that beefy threesome in a heartbeat. That's from Doug's prison wallet. So I guess as far as ease, he's saying that would be easier to accomplish than that national championship.
Right. I want to reiterate that when Tim said larger, what he meant was taller.
Really big and beefy.
What he meant was tall.
Yeah, Phoenix Maria is his girl, right?
Yeah.
How tall? How tall? We thought like 6 foot and above?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, I didn't say it was. I was just wondering where your preference was. 6'5"? Wow.
Is that right?
Well, I don't know.
Like the taller the better?
Not necessarily.
Like if you spotted Wemby in the wild, you'd be like, oh my goodness, soft cow?
Oh.
The height wouldn't then change my sexual identity.
But
mouse in the house.
I would be the mouse. No, like 5'8" and taller.
I see.
By the way, Norfolk State, after advancing that year, I wanted to double check. Just barely got nicked by Florida, 84-50. Would have been Bradley Beal. So Marquette, and then Marquette awaited. So it could have been Mizzou Marquette yet again, had Norfolk not gotten in the way, and Florida and Bradley Beal not gotten in the way.
Of course, taller the better, because then she could play basketball with him. Doug, that's Andy Pants.
Wow. Sherlock Holmes over here.
You're down on Andy Pants. You can text in as well. 314-399-9646, Air Comfort Service. Text inbox. You can talk it over with other TMA listeners in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat. Subscribe to the channel. 6,830 have subscribed. When we get to 7,000, Doug gets gold bullion. So that is going to be a big moment here on the show. We believe Mike McGreevy will be on the Polos Plus dossier. We know JR will be on, brought to you by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies, and Jeff Suppan for quick hitters because he's got mass at 10:15 Central Time today. Plus, we have the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today, the morning after, at InsideSTL.com. Send your emails in for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Design Air is online at DesignAirService.com. Martin, Doug, and I are all clients working with Seth Goldcamp now, and Seth Goldcamp's been working with this show for more than a decade. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling, offering up a service plan that can give you peace of mind. You sign up for it at DesignAirService.com, and you do not have to deal with anything going forward. They come by your house, setting up the date and the time to check on your air conditioning and make sure it's ready for the warm weather months in the spring, and they come by your house at a mutually agreeable time in the fall to make sure the furnace is tested and ready to go for the cold weather months. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling. Sign up for that service plan at DesignAirService.com. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling. Sponsor the email today, the morning after, at InsideSTL.com. Doug, the NCAA tournament is expanding. Some people like it, some people don't like it. But then again, some people like some things and some people
don't like other things.
That's exactly right. We'll have that for you in addition to more fun with audio here on the program. Mike McGreevy, Jeremy Rutherford, Jeff Suppan, the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today. It's all coming your way on the Polos Plus dossier. We are in the Healthcare Evolution 7 o'clock hour here on the morning after 101 ESPN and the TMA STL YouTube channel.
This is Jackson with a Sports Center update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. Cardinals win against the Pirates yesterday, making that 2 wins on the series. Let's make it 3 today with a 5:40 p.m. first pitch. Andre Palante towing the slab for the Redbirds. That was our Sports Center update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. You'll be saying, I love my windows.
And these are songs about cuckoldry today. That was the music theme.
This will play during a cuckold scene?
I can imagine it. It definitely plays in Sandlot.
And there was a Dennis Leary cucked Smalls' dad?
One could say, yeah.
What?
I really didn't like that. He was mean to Smalls. So we're
Doug, your thoughts on Dennis Leary and the Sandlot?
Smalls was the kid's name, the star.
Jackson loves his hat.
Yeah, big
Jackson
hat.
loves his hat.
Oh, that
Dad
fishing
wasn't
hat
real
is so
pleasant to
bad.
him.
We're going to get these TMA hats done with Polos Plus, and I said, I don't need any samples. I said this to Andrew Hubbard. I don't need any samples. Just model it after Smalls' cap in Sandlot, and Jackson will sport it every day.
The brim looked like a 6-inch sub sandwich.
I think it was a fishing hat, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was terrible.
You need a larger brim when you go fishing.
Well, it shades maybe more of your face.
Benny the Jet told him to burn it.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on Benny the Jet, 314-974-0101, Collier and Thompson phone lines. You're also welcome to text into the program at 314-399-9646. And, of course, talk it over in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat. It's the Healthcare Evolution, 7 o'clock hour here on the morning after. 7 straight hours of broadcast excellence for Jackson Burkett and myself. Doug's mad because he only gets 5, and Martin's mad because he only gets to do television tonight. We want to do it 24 hours a day. We want to be the Real House Husbands of St. Louis.
Always be broadcasting.
Yep.
Always.
We got TMA then after the morning after at 11 o'clock. You can watch that on YouTube and the TMA podcast. Then Riz, Anthony Stalter, and I doing the Spread Zone, and then Jackson and I doing QFTA. You can send your questions in, T. McKernan at InsideSTL.com, and there it is. This program going till 11 o'clock on the Polos Plus dossier. Cardinal starter Mike McGreevy, former Cardinal starter Jeff Suppan, and our regularly scheduled Wednesday guest brought to you by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies, Jeremy Rutherford at 8:45, taking your 2-part questions, plus the Design Air Heating and Cooling email the day at 9:45. Send yours in the morning after at InsideSTL.com. The Polos Plus dossier has been set for you. The NCAA Tournament is expanding to 76 teams. Doug, how do you feel about it?
Oh, I'm fine with it.
Sounds like you're exhausted by the top.
My first thought was, oh, good. This will get another team in from some of the smaller conferences when they have a good team, but they lose their conference championship game and then can't go to the tournament. But that's not what the plan is. I think this is being pushed by the power conferences. They're the ones who want more of their teams in. So I don't think this is going to help the mid majors, which is fine. Whatever's most entertaining. But I guess I'm okay with it. It even further lessens the value of the regular season. But if
Papers, you're our ball knower.
A lot of money.
What do you think?
I'm on board with it. I think this is...
What's your reasoning?
I think this expansion is not too great. Like, it's not too many teams. If they expanded, if it got into like the 90s, then I really think it does devalue the regular season. I think there's still a ton of value in the regular season in terms of college basketball because seeding is so important. Like, yes, getting in a tournament's awesome, but like being an 8 seed, you are really up against it. We saw that with SLU, 8 or 9 seed, you're really up against it. So I think it could give opportunities to more mid majors, which I think is great, especially for those who want to see more and more Cinderella stories. But, we'll see if it really benefits those schools or if it's going to benefit teams like Auburn from this year, who were frankly pretty middling and sub 500. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm not a fan largely, not the numbers, but the format, because it sounds like the people that cover this closely, that Pete Thamel saying that what they'll do those first 12 games, which are going to be 24 teams, on those first couple of days, you're going to see the 16 seeds, and you'll see a bunch of 11s, and that's probably, I guarantee that's where they'll shove the Miami of Ohio's, and if the A-10 gets an extra team, and instead of Thursday, Friday being traditionally where you'll get a great upset of 5-12, or even, like an Old Dominion or a Wyoming wins a game on Thursday, Friday, they'll just try and get all that, I'm sure if they had it on the record, that clutter out of the way, and then you'll have an extra team from the SEC, an extra team from the Big Ten, probably be sitting there on Thursday, Friday as a 10 seed or whatever. I just think it's going to get more and more to a giant tournament of all the big Power 5 schools.
Yeah, I think it could be 2 or 3 more from the SEC and 2 or 3 more from the Big Ten.
Absolutely.
And maybe one mid-major that got slided.
And they make a ton of money already. I don't think it's going to benefit. It's going to benefit coaches and programs. Hey, we made the tournament. And now if you don't make the tournament, it's even more damning. I just think it was perfect as is. I would have left it alone.
St. Louis University Athletic Director Chris May and St. Louis University Head Coach Josh Schertz opined. Where did we get this audio? Was this from last night's event? Doug, were you conducting journalism while you were down there?
No, not me.
Both, I believe, come from Doug's Big Channel and specifically Gracie Barra.
Okay.
I think our postseason in basketball, you look at 365 teams. We have the smallest level of percentage of teams that get into the postseason. So when people says, "Oh, we don't need to expand," I mean, every other sport in that the NCAA offers has a higher percentage of teams that can participate in the postseason. Do I think it's perfect? No. Do I think that the majority of those spots will go to Power 5 teams that maybe were pretty pedestrian? Yes. But does it open more spots for a mid-major? Will you see maybe 1 or 2 or even 3 non-Power 5s get in that wouldn't get in before? Absolutely. And I think it benefits the A-10 because I think when you look at the leagues outside of the Power 5, I think with the investments that a lot of programs are making, certainly St. Louis, we're not the only one in our league doing it. I do think you're giving yourself a chance to have regularly 3 bids, and that's ultimately, where we get to. And I think there'll be years where, the stars align and we can get 4 bids, but certainly I don't think 3 bids and doing that consistently is out of the question, and the 76 teams allows us to do it. And I think it actually, people say it makes the regular season less. I think it makes it more, because when you look at it, you're going to have, what, 52, I think, if my math's right, automatics in the tournament, and then the other 24 are going to be playing in those play-in games to get in the field of 64. So it actually makes it less teams that are directly in the field. And so it actually puts more meaning and more emphasis in the regular season, not less.
And if I'm a mid-major program, I would be for it with the hope that it does open the door for more A-10 teams to get in. I wouldn't trust that the tournament is looking to benefit the mid-majors. I'm sure that they're looking out for an Oklahoma State team that's 8-10 in the conference. You're just going to see more of that, and I don't need to see more of that.
Here is what Chris May had to say.
We've been longtime proponents of the NCAA tournament growing and expanding, and I'm glad we finally got it done. But our goal is not to be in those first 4s anyway. And so what it will do is it's going to be great for the Atlantic 10. The Atlantic 10 will get another 1 or 2 teams in the tournament on a regular basis, so we can expect 3 and 4 teams. When you're in a league that's starting to have those type of tournament appearances, that's how you really grow your base. So I think it's a really good move for college basketball, and we're excited about it.
I'm glad he said that. We're not trying to be in that first. You want to avoid that as much as possible. But I think they're going to just shove as many of the teams that are just lucky to be there, and then by Thursday, Friday, all of them will be gone. It's almost like they weren't in the tournament.
Yeah.
Is Jackson senile? College basketball is the most pointless regular season of any sport in the world. Doug, that's Harrison's brother, Master.
I disagree.
Okay.
Disagree.
You're not showing signs of senility.
I think
28-year-old gentleman.
Likely the NBA would be the least amount of pressure on a regular season, because as long as you're one of the top 10 seeds, you at least get a chance.
What a huge moment. Harrison's brother Master is going to have to doff his cap to you. I mean, you went after the association.
Right. I would have said the NHL and NBA would have been tied before the play-in tournament became a thing.
Play-in tournament has watered it down even more, is what you're saying.
For sure, in terms of the regular season. But
the thing about college basketball is you can pick your own schedule.
And the
non-con, NBA teams have all got to play other NBA teams.
Right.
Where you can schedule almost guaranteed victories in college basketball.
Yep. No doubt. That's a good point.
And what's the motivation? Is it just more money, or is it so that these power conference schools can say, hey, we got in too? Is it coaches protecting their ass? Is it ADs?
Yeah, I think
there's tons. I mean, what does already make $1 billion?
Right.
Yeah.
I think that they do really well Thursday through Sunday of the NCAA tournament, and the idea of like increasing the viewing on Tuesday and Wednesday is certainly in their benefit.
6 games Tuesday, I guess. 6 games Wednesday.
Yeah, I think if they can make that, the tournament fever thing start on a Tuesday and end on a Sunday, that would be great for them.
Basketball, LOL. That's from the not so PC principal.
Okay, knock it off, principal.
Just the whole sport, not the NBA, not college basketball, just basketball. LOL.
Well, there's money is the driver to all this.
For sure.
They'll make more money. And the teams that might be on the bubble, they'll also figure to maybe have slightly larger crowds and get more interest as long as they're still in the running. That leads to more money for everybody.
For sure.
Harrison, please go on a date with Sharon and enjoy a picnic on a set of railroad tracks. That's from the Warson Woods Wacko. So that's nice. He wants them to get together.
Wouldn't be a very comfortable place to sit.
No, and you could get up and move when the trains come.
Yeah.
A picnic doesn't require a lot of furniture.
When was the last time you had a picnic, though?
I don't. It's been years.
Why don't we go to the St. Gabriel School picnic if they move it back to June?
No. I've been told by my parole officer to not hang around grade schools.
Get a little mom's deli sandwich, have a picnic.
Well, that doesn't sound bad, but I shouldn't have it at a grade school.
I went to LeGrand's yesterday.
Did you really?
I did.
It's been way too long since I've been there.
I'll go back today if you want, but I still have a legend left over.
Oh, so good.
Are they scaled back the choices? It used to be like a phone book listing of.
I still have the Edmonds.
Still have the Edmonds.
I went with Edmonds while he ordered the Edmonds, Doug. And it was like some kind of, what film was that? Was that Memento, Jackson?
Yeah.
It's like I was in some kind of
mind meld or something.
Did the person taking the order recognize Jim Edmonds?
No, he wasn't in his farmer outfit.
Well, I think you might have been referencing Inception there.
Inception, that's right. Yeah. And that was DiCaprio?
DiCaprio, Cillian Murphy, Tom Hardy.
Oh, that had to be like soft cow fest for you.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine if Brittany Grimes was in it.
Yeah,
There's a tall girl for
Griner.
Girl.
No,
Memento is more of my life. I write everything down all day.
You do?
Yeah.
I feel
thorough notes.
I think I would lose my mind if I didn't have notes everywhere.
I stand with the wacko, but would suggest they have their date underneath a flagpole in the midst of a lightning storm. That's from Brian Henson. Well, either way, it sounds like the audience wants them to get together. The LeGrands are my cousins. What's up? That's from Eric in the Central West End.
Okay.
Make
like
a
sandwiches.
Make a delicious sandwich. Might be my favorite sandwich in town.
Oh, Mount Rushmore of and you can't say sandwich. You got to say sandwich when you do it.
Okay.
Legend Club. I like an Adriana's sandwich.
What's your sandwich? What's your order? I like the Nana's special.
Nana's is really good. When they have the sloppy Giuseppe, sign me right up.
What's on the sloppy Giuseppe?
It's like an Italian sloppy Joe.
Does that answer it for you, Martin?
Yeah.
It's like if you took a sloppy Joe, but like put on some real good red sauce and some.
Okay.
Is that right? Really?
Spices. Oh, it's fantastic.
Ed Herman of Brown and Crouppen would always talk about that sloppy Giuseppe.
The Sally Spicy Italian from Blue City Deli.
Wow. I get the Vino there, but man, that Blue City Deli, Doug, it don't play.
It does not. And then I'll put the veal parm from Grassi's.
And I get the meatball sandwich from Grassi's.
I was at Grassi's last night.
Man, we're all going to the sandwich shops, Doug.
Goodness.
And it was Cameron who said, "Oh, Iggy's back." I'm like, "Yeah."
It's the talk of the town.
It's the talk of Grassi's, at least.
So good.
Because you get that bread with little garlic on it, garlic cheese bread.
Salad.
Keith Krause, our director of sales here at Hubbard Radio, came in, saw Iggy yesterday as we were getting ready for After the Morning After, and he said, I'll tell you what's next. Before the Morning After, Doug. Wouldn't that be great to do 6-8?
We're going to need a skeleton crew in for that one. Before the Morning After.
How about I'll do a show at 10 called During the Morning After. And you guys do your own show. I'll go down the hall.
Yep, the brand just continues to expand. Get involved, 314-399-9646. That is the Air Comfort Service text inbox. You can also call in at 314-974-0101, Callier and Thompson phone lines. And you're welcome to post your two-part questions for Jeremy Rutherford, who's going to be with us on the Polos Plus dossier at 8:45, brought to you by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies. That is what is on the Polos Plus dossier, in addition to Mike McGreevy, Jeff Suppan, and the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. We have moved into the 8 o'clock hour, but the 7 o'clock hour is brought to you by Healthcare Evolution. Want real answers and same-day pain relief? Well, Healthcare Evolution delivers real answers and same-day pain relief for most of your medical issues. No waiting on appointments, no waiting on answers, no insurance hassles. Healthcare Evolution will give you real answers and same-day pain relief on the spot. Get rid of the nagging injuries, especially now that the weather has warmed up. You want to get outside. You want to enjoy outdoor activities. If you have a nagging injury, it absolutely ruins it. I had a shoulder injury, went to Healthcare Evolution. They use that ultrasound technology to say, hey, guess what? That slap tear, it is gone. Man, that frees up your mind. For the month of April, if you're dealing with a shoulder injury, TMA listeners get a 10% discount on any shoulder problems. Common shoulder issues that Healthcare Evolution helps fix are rotator cuff partial tears, arthritis of the shoulder, and long-term wear and damage in the shoulder joint. Don't forget, TMA listeners get 10% off all shoulder issues this month only. Go to healthcare-evolution.com. That's healthcare-evolution.com and see firsthand the same benefits I've received from Healthcare Evolution. That's my guy, Logan Taylor, and Healthcare Evolution, online at healthcare-evolution.com. The program's called The Morning After. It's presented to you by Brown & Crouppen on 101 ESPN from the Stiefel Studios.
AutoLoanPro.com. Real simple. That's the website you head to if you're looking for a new vehicle and you're not sure what you can get approved for. Maybe there's a hiccup along the way. That doesn't matter. They're going to get you into a new vehicle, lowest rate possible, little to no money down. They do that by working with over 50 different lenders. Vehicles right there on the site. Make a selection and then get your financing done right there. They're part of the Lita family. So, you can trust the folks at Auto Loan Pro. The only thing you really need to know when financing a car is you want to work with a pro. That's AutoLoanPro.com. Great website that includes the free playbook. Check it out online. That's where you can find out how the credit industry works. So next time around, get the car of your choice. AutoLoanPro.com. Also partners with Robert Thomas, friend of the show. Maybe he'll call in. You never know. AutoLoanPro.com. All the cars right there on site. Plus 50 different lenders getting you the best rates, little to no money down, so doesn't matter what the situation, what the circumstance. Get that next car online at AutoLoanPro.com.
Boy, these cuck songs. I didn't know this was a cuck song. My mother-in-law taught this guy, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And did Shabuzi, did he channel this?
Sample it.
Sampled this?
Sampled it. Which then would make Jaquan a writer on the song, making him some money, which is great.
I'm sorry, my mother-in-law taught Chingy. I apologize. I'd like to apologize to them. I guess I'll do a notes apology.
Okay.
It's Team 801 ESPN. Fisher Window endorsed our sponsor, the 8 o'clock hour here on the program. And you are welcome to participate in the program whenever you would like, however you would like. When you call in, you dictate the content. So if you want hockey and Battle Hawks all the time, you can make that happen. All you do is you pick up the phone, you call 314-974-0101, and you get involved in the presentation. That's up to you, though, if you want to do that. That's one of the things that you can talk about. But you can also talk about the Cardinals winning 2 in a row. And I want to hear this here, Papers. And this is 8-1, so I guess theoretically it's accurate. Ali Marmol talking about what it takes to bring fans back to Busch Stadium.
Yeah.
This is from KMOX, and the Gas House Gang is the name of the presentation. I want to hear this. I'm anxious to hear this.
What do you think has to be done in order to get people back? Is it as simple as winning? Because, we've seen the team do well and people may not show up necessarily. Is it that? Is it a feel? Is it a personality of the team? What do you think it is that brings people back to the ballpark?
I think St. Louis likes watching a team that plays the game the right way, that plays the game hard, that never gives in. And those are the things we can control, and I'll hold myself accountable to, and then let everything else play out. But I think it's hard not to like this group. It's hard to watch them and not get excited about their style of play. So those are the things we can control at the moment. And the things I'm excited about, our staff's excited about doing every day. So that's the best way I can answer that question.
I think he was right when he asked, is it just about winning? I think it is. If you put a winning product on the team, a contender, they'll show up.
Over 30,000 expected, I believe, each game this weekend. Now, part of that's the Dodgers.
A big part.
Getting into May, Cards are playing decent ball. Just get to June, still be competitive. And I think it is a group that's likable. And people are into the messaging. We've talked a lot about that. Mozeliak's gone. The Chaim Bloom honeymoon, man, anything they do, like, oh, this Chaim Bloom. Like, well, Riley O'Brien was here. Jojo Romero was. He gets credit for almost anything positive that's happening right now. People were just so ready for a fresh voice, new direction. And I think luckily for them, this rebuild where they could be horrifically bad, they haven't been. I mean, I think they knew going in this could be rough, and yet here they are playing pretty good ball.
I really thought they'd be horrifically bad, and they certainly have not been. Very glad to be wrong about that.
Well, there's still time.
Well, there is, but it doesn't look like they're going to be horrifically bad. I mean, they're not really showing signs of falling apart right now. They did, I guess, last week when they lost 4 straight, but bounced back nicely. And they got some guys hitting that haven't been. Nathan Church looks a lot better. Weatherholt getting better by the day.
And down on the farm, Doug.
Down on the farm.
There's reason for enthusiasm. Blaze Jordan with another home run last night. That is his 6th. Baez, 3 for 6 last night and had 5 total bases. So they have some guys raking down on the farm as well, should they want to go that route. That is encouraging.
Why do you hate Brian Torres?
Oh, no, I don't have anything against the guy.
343, on base 461.
I don't hate the guy.
Second baseman. You don't hear much about him, but looks like he's having.
Why do they hate Brian Torres? Not Tim. Why do they hate him?
You never really hear the name.
The guy who never gets a sniff, and maybe there's a reason why, but that Prieto always seems to be hitting around 300.
He had a big night last night as well.
And you guys were stumping hard for Nelson Velasquez. He's hitting $179. He's doing nothing down there.
They iced him pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
spring doesn't matter, Doug. There's a good reminder.
Well, I guess not.
So McGreevy's pitching Saturday night on the old 2 Fox. I was looking for, is Ohtani?
Ohtani's Sunday. He's going up against Roki Sasaki, who has not been particularly good for the Dodgers in his starts. They fade Glass now, and I believe they fade Yamamoto as well. So that's a nice hit. I think Glass now might be thrown today for him. They lost last night. Ohtani start last night, and then he didn't hit. And the Marlins had lost 9 in a row to the Dodgers, but they got him last night in an Ohtani start. But Ohtani is scheduled to pitch here.
He is, okay, because I can't find... They juggled their rotation. All these
They may have juggled their rotation, but that's where it was.
Yeah, because the ESPN.com, and I don't know anymore what's accurate, but they've got Justin Robleski.
Doug, is that how you say it?
That's close enough.
Dustin May Sunday, and you got McGreevy.
Oh, Dustin May gets to go up against his former team. Why, that should be a Jim Dandy. All right, Emmett Sheehan, Libertor on Friday per ESPN. Doug, do with that what you want. It's up to you.
I don't really have to do anything with it.
Sasaki, McGreevy on Saturday, and then Sunday. Oh, no more. It has moved.
I don't know what they were maneuvering the other day with their rotation.
and May. But either way, May gets to go up against his former team. Ideally, you'd have weather like we had this past weekend for the Mariners series. Might not get that based on the forecast right now. High of 59 on Friday. That's a night game. Saturday's also a night game. High of 58. Sunday should be wonderful. Sunny and 71.
Yeah.
But yeah, the weekend, this past weekend, the weather was optimal.
Do you think Ohtani's afraid to face this group?
I don't think
I didn't want to say that, but since you said it, yeah.
Seems like.
Left-handed heavy club, I don't think Ohtani wants any of this. He may not even show up. Watch him get sick or something.
Good Lord, I bet the Dodgers money line in the over. How the hell do the Marlins win 2-1? That's from the Devil's Crotch.
Because hell, they's on scholarship too.
The Marlins are on a scholarship.
Yeah.
But it's fun when a brand like the Dodgers comes to town, but especially in recent years with their star power, that's another reason to go for sure. The opponent can be a big factor in all of this.
Yeah, I think it's mostly about winning to draw the fans back, but there's also some other things that contribute to it. I think a lot of people think it's kind of expensive to park down there now by St. Louis standards. And there are still some of the older crowd leery about going downtown at all. Maybe a little bit more visible security would help some of that. I don't know how you get people like Joe Pelusi to go along with lowering the ticket prices or the parking prices.
You think producer Joe can...
He probably sets them,
My only motivation to go at this point would be to hear Chairman's greatness bumping on Busch's sound system and maybe getting beaked by Fredbird. But that's it. Certainly not the all-you-can stuff yourself with tickets the Fats want.
Oh.
That's Sharon and Clayton.
That's just one section.
Look at me, I work out.
And Chuck wasn't saying that he works out. He was mocking people that might say that. Okay.
Some French fries and gravy, sir.
Guys, Ohtani's renting my house in Cottleville this weekend. He said Webster reminds him of Skid Row. That's from the River to Pear Yacht Captain.
Huh. So he's saying some of these players get an Airbnb when they come to town?
Yep.
Just to fully experience St. Louis? Okay.
Any Champions League talk this morning? Arsenal plays at 2. That's from Boozy. Doug, Arsenal at 2 o'clock in afternoon. Jim Dandy here on a Wednesday.
Why didn't Les Snead wear an Arsenal kit? That would have been less bothersome to the Kings fans.
True. Sharon, nobody wants you there anyway.
Oh.
It's in the Bridgeton landfill fume hoover.
I don't know. I think they do.
It was a gluten-free park.
I don't know.
It says unnamed woman.
It says unknown woman.
Well, Jimmy Rutherford's going to take your 2-part questions here coming up in a matter of moments. Send those in at 314-399-9646. And you're welcome to call in as well at 314-974-0101. Collier and Thompson phone lines. Mike McGreevy, Jeremy Rutherford, Jeff Suppan, the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day. That is your Polos Plus dossier. Enjoy the festivities here on TMA. All presented to you by Brown and Crouppen online at getbc.com or by calling 314-222-2222. Brody Herman was at what became the berating of Doug Vaughn at the Tiger Club at Llewellyn's and Webster Groves yesterday, and he asked a wonderful question. He was a resource for me on a date when I was answering a question. Brown and Crouppen is local online at getbc.com or by calling 314-222-2222. If you are in need of an attorney, wouldn't you want somebody who is local, who knows the legal environment? That's Brown and Crouppen, founded here in St. Louis in 1979 and still committed to the St. Louis metropolitan area. They don't get paid unless you get paid. It's Brown and Crouppen. At the very beginning, when you are dealing with an accident, money can be tight, and Brown and Crouppen takes care of everything for free from the beginning. They come to you for free. They take your phone calls and answer your questions for free. It's Brown and Crouppen, 314-222-2222, or go online at getbc.com. Remember, the choice of an attorney is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements. This is The Morning After, presented to you by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN from the Stiefel Studios. Boogie Nights, Doug?
I don't know where it was, Tim.
Yeah. Eric Burden, but is it right? Solo?
No, in War. Eric Burden in War.
He was also in the Animals. Right? Talk about it. Think about it.
Jackson's ignoring you.
Well, David Frick on next hour.
What's the question?
Do it during the morning after. Eric Burden was also in the Animals, right? And
they're in the Ed Sullivan Show.
It's a little ahead of Papers. To be fair, it's a little ahead of all of our time. Maybe, Doug.
Okay.
Burden was in both, I think.
Doug, a lot of Cardinal conversation here on the program, plus the NCAA Tournament expanding to 76 teams. On the Polos Plus dossier, Jeremy Rutherford taking two-part questions in about 11 minutes. I'm going to give you Sadie Hawkins, a rare 834 in St. Louis. Time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Sadie Hawkins. Do you want to go with Patriots and Mike Vrabel possibly losing his job? Or do you go with Paige Beckers addressing the media regarding her relationship with AZ Fado?
Both kind of juicy stories. How about Vrabel losing his job? That'd be a bigger deal. Right?
This
Super
is
Bowl
from
coach.
WEEI in Boston. And, Doug, this guy's name is Tommy Curran. Now, it's not Tommy Curran. It's Tom, middle initial E, Curran.
Okay, Tommy Curran. Got it.
Patriots Center.
And there is a weird theory that's going on around, or it's going around right now, that this could all end up potentially costing Mike Vrabel his job. Have you heard anything about that? Is there any hint that that could end up being true?
I think as it stands right now, no. I don't think that if it, remains status quo, Mike has acknowledged that he needs to work on himself, is going to prioritize and create balance. So to me, I don't think that he would be in danger of losing his job if things remain status quo. What's unfortunate is the layers that keep getting added on top that add context to the situation. So to me, I think it would be highly unlikely. But if we use the win probability chart and say that after the Super Bowl, Mike Vrabel would be as high as you could be to job security, complete and utter job security. Where would it be now? I would imagine the graph has dipped. Still would say that it's pretty high, maybe over 80, 90%. But we're kind of in, as I said to somebody the other day, it's like one of those icy road pileups that you see on the highway.
Yeah.
There's the initial accident, and then there's more people who just come sliding in and adding to the chaos. So from my vantage point, Rich, no, I don't think so. But this is a story that unfortunately continues to get more layers.
One of the layers was a picture of Vrabel and Rossini that TMZ purchased and posted.
Canoodling again?
Gambling, actually.
Oh, gambling.
At a casino, and that was in 2024. Then you had the New York Post pictures from 2020 where they were at the bar, and then the ones that got things started from their get-together in Arizona. A couple weeks ago, Patriots players were asked about the situation yesterday. Hunter Henry, in his 6th year in New England, says everybody's focused on the task at hand right now. Right now, that's working out, coming together as a team, focused on the meetings and trying to get better. Meanwhile, Vrabel went on the trip that he had announced he was going to go on for counseling, landed in Salt Lake City, and TMZ's photographers were there at the airport.
Just what he wanted.
Following him around. So that's the latest.
I'd be stunned if he loses his job over this. When you're the point guy for a franchise worth a couple $1 billion and you've been highly successful, I don't think they're going to fire him because he had an affair. That's kind of his business with his wife and his family. Highly embarrassing, highly inappropriate. But I can't believe that Robert Kraft would say, yeah, I think I'll get rid of my Super Bowl coach because of it. I don't think they will.
I think unless they find out that he was giving her access to the playbook or saying, hey, by the way, we're going to trade for this guy. If you need a big scoop, here's one. If he was feeding her classified information, football related, maybe that would be a fireable offense. But I think you're right. Most of it's just going to be the public shame, the public embarrassment, unless it became the only thing teams hate is the massive distraction. Remember, Tebow is going to be a distraction. Kaepernick's a distraction. If Vrabel became such a distraction that it got in the way of them running their football team, I suspect it'll move on at some point. He probably needs to do a little better job of addressing it. I mean, I think the initial, and I said this about Rossini last week, the initial insinuation that it's a witch hunt or this is unfair, and then, oh, wait a minute, there's actually a lot more to this. I mean, how many more photos are going to surface?
Yeah, it's hard to believe that there wasn't something going on.
Hey, here they are at the Macy's parade 3 years ago. Hey, they actually attended the Super Bowl together as a couple 5 years ago. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Doug, are you familiar with Matt Canada?
No.
Matt Canada is the CEO of the Pro Football and Sports Network, and he's of the opinion that he is going to lose his job. He said, as someone who used to work in public relations and often dealt with crisis communications, I see this whole Rossini-Vrabel affair resulting in Vrabel resigning. It is going to be hit after hit after hit, and then there will be one bombshell that makes it all spill over the top. So that is his opinion, that he will eventually resign.
Well, resign and being fired, I guess, would be two completely different things, unless he, resigns under pressure. And I suppose there's more heat coming down on a coach than on a player who might be involved in some kind of affair, because as a coach, he's supposed to be the smart one in control of the whole situation, and clearly he wasn't very much in control of his own personal life.
Albert Breer, you may know him from Sports Illustrated, says, I can just tell you factually he has not been the same the last 2 weeks in that building in New England. The sense I've gotten talking to people with the Patriots is the bravado and everything else. I think it has taken a chunk out of that. So,
I'm sure it would. Be highly embarrassing.
Breer reporting.
He'd probably like the season to get started again so we could focus on football and not this. I just don't think that they would fire him.
Based on what we know now. Mm-hmm. Or, again, behind closed doors, what Albert Breer's talking about, if for some reason he's not functioning at a high level, or he's in the tank mentally, or he's just distraught over this whole thing, is not effectively doing his job, it could very well affect him in that way. And then you'd have a decision to make. All right, this guy can no longer do the job. I would be surprised the way a lot of these folks are built. But it is a massive embarrassment for him. Has Rossini said anything since it's gotten... Remember, The Athletic stood up for her immediately.
That caused problems at the New York Times, which is the parent company now of The Athletic. And some New York Times reporters were unhappy that they immediately stood up for her without conducting an investigation. And then the same editor... wound up having the conversation with her, and then she resigned. So, but since then, no, she has not, and she deleted her Twitter account.
Well, I suppose technically he didn't do anything to break the law. I mean, he wasn't charged with drunk driving or beating somebody up or anything like that. What he did was unethical, immoral, all that, of course. But if he didn't break any laws, I think he could have a case for hanging on to his job.
What if the Patriots start off 2-4 or worse? That's from the 3
Well, then that
4.
would be a different thing. I doubt that would get him fired either.
I hope the spouses leave these idiots. They deserve nothing. That's from Choke Artist 1.6. Doug, that's a tribute to the Blues and Winnipeg Jets 1 year ago.
Okay.
And the Choke Artist 1.6 text inbox theme often mirrors the 6-1 hate. There's a lot. It kind of has the same. Just they're mad, hostile, which is fine. Well, got to have a brand. Everybody's got to have a brand. I couldn't imagine. And many people have referenced this on the text line. Could you imagine Robert Kraft saying, "We hold our people amongst the highest moral standards here"? Like,
But I got to wrap this up to get to that massage part.
Right. I don't think he has the higher ground to do that. Now, Tim, you mentioned that Paige Beckers, the WNBA players that are dating, that AZ Fudd was drafted, and it, I guess, was only known because Beckers had been the one who said we're dating like a year ago. I think to her credit, Paige Beckers the way she addressed it, I think, was pretty healthy. Like, just kind of put it all out there.
I agree with you. Here is the audio of Paige Beckers talking about her relationship with teammate AZ Fudd. They were at one time in a relationship. They may still be, but now they are teammates.
Well, first of all, I missed you guys. Genuinely hope everyone had a great offseason. There is something that I wanted to address, and I only plan on addressing it once. So if we continue to get asked about it, we will refer to this moment in time, or we will use this time to deflect and talk about our teammates. Quite frankly, I believe me and AZ's personal relationship is nobody's business but our own. And what we choose to share is completely up to us. But as media members, I understand you guys have a job to do, and you guys have to ask questions about the basketball aspect of it, so that's what I will be addressing today. Me and AZ have always been the most professional. We've always conducted ourselves as such. We've never let anything that happens off the court carry onto the court. That's what we continue to do. And I'm not entirely sure if this is new to media members, to social media, to new people who are watching the WNBA or women's basketball in general, but me and AZ are not new to this. We've been doing this for a long time. We have countless reps at it. We have a lot of experience with it, so we will continue to use that experience to show up and be professionals, great teammates, great leaders, the hardest workers, and continue to show up and do our job and help the Dallas Wings win basketball games. To add on to that, AZ Fudd was the #1 draft pick because she earned it, and it had nothing to do with me and everything to do with who she is as a human being, who she is as a basketball player, her resilience, her strength, and her career best year at UConn. So AZ is her great individual person, her own great individual person, and she should be celebrated as such. And now that we got that out of the way, I would love to talk basketball.
But I think she went out of her way to address as many things as she could. Well, gee, did they draft her because you two are dating? Well, no, she was drafted because we've been teammates for a long time. I think she was as thorough as she can be. A lot of these coaches, players, they get up there to try and diffuse things like Vrabel. Hey, I'm just going to take a little time away. I'm going to work on my personal growth. They just talk in these vague themes without specifically addressing what people are right or wrong wanting to know. I think that was well handled. And as a media member there, you're probably like, okay, well, that kind of covers it.
Yeah, I agree with you. And had that been the route that they took last week, I highly doubt we ever would have been talking about it in the first place. Jugs in D.C. says her PR team is a 10 out of 10. So Jugs in D.C. like what he heard. Meanwhile, Harrison's brother Master did not like it. Yeah, we're good on the WNBA for like ever. Get this off my effing phone.
Oh.
Cut it off. That's from Harrison's brother Master.
We're good on the WNBA forever.
Probably in the big picture is very good PR for the WNBA. People are talking about it when they otherwise wouldn't be talking about the league. They know who these two are. A lot of people probably had no clue who they were.
Why are you even playing that slop? It's from the 314.
Why even play in that slop?
Why are you
playing that slop?
Right.
Because it's interesting. That's why.
Doug will take any other questions you have right there.
People's personal lives are interesting to us. Celebrity lives we find interesting. That's why.
You are welcome to get involved on the program at 314-399-9646 and send in two-part questions for Jeremy Rutherford, who is going to be with us, brought to you by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies in a mere matter of moments. You're also welcome to ask those in the TMA STL YouTube channel. That is where you can ask your two-part questions for Jeremy Rutherford, who's brought to you by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies. Mark is online at evergreen-ws.com or by calling 314-889-0503. Everyone needs a financial advisor. It doesn't matter what your situation is. Get on the right track with a very good and smart person like Mark Hanna. 314-889-0503 or go online at evergreen-ws.com. Longtime TMA sponsor. I have leaned on him for guidance for a number of years. I can't say enough positive things about him as an individual and also as an advisor. 314-889-0503 or go online at evergreen-ws.com. VIPAutoAccessories.com. Jeremy Rutherford next. Mike McGreevy, Jeff Suppan, and the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email today. Still to come on our Polos Plus dossier. This is TMA, 101 ESPN. VIP Auto Accessories can take care of everything, and with the storms that have been coming through St. Louis, VIP Auto Accessories is the place to go for hail repair on hail damage. That is VIPAutoAccessories.com with Tommy Cibulka and Brian Grigg. You dealt with hail damage? Go to VIP Auto Accessories to have them take care of it. They have 4 departments under one roof. Commercial upfits, graphic solutions, hail repair and touch-up, aftermarket accessories. They have it all. If it can be done, VIP Auto Accessories can probably do it. Window tinting is a lifetime warranty. Just had my windows tinted 2 weeks ago with Tommy and Brian at VIPAutoAccessories.com. And the window tints are really big in the summer because it keeps your kids cool in the car. It's super easy and inexpensive and so worth it. And also, if you dealt with some hail damage from the storms here this week, go to VIPAutoAccessories.com. For all your commercial vehicle upfit needs, ask for Tommy Cibulka. And for all your aftermarket vehicle accessories needs, ask for Brian Grigg and tell them TMA sent you. VIPAutoAccessories.com.
This is Jackson with the Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The 76ers defeat the Celtics last night 113-97. Joel Embiid with 33 points and 8 assists. That was another Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Welcome back to the Morning After 101 ESPN. Fisher Window and Door Store, 8 o'clock hour. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Martin Kilcoyne with you on the program. Jackson Burkett is on the ones and twos. If you're watching on YouTube, you see that Chairman Kurt is no longer at his place. He has been replaced, Doug, by Jeremy Rutherford, who's sitting right over there right now. Brought to you by Mark Anna.
Hello, JR.
Somebody said, man, Kurt got ugly in the last 10 seconds.
I think you're both hot.
Hey, I'm repping the old school 101 shirt. If you can see it on the YouTube channels.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Back when you guys were on HD3 or
HD4.
We're still
was that
on
when
HD2 from 11.
You did hits with Paris and Burwell, maybe?
Oh, yeah. And they didn't like phone calls because they wanted them to land the plane. I feel like our callers land the plane.
Yeah, you guys get, what, barge drivers? And
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just meat and potatoes people like us.
Yeah, we're meat and potatoes. JR's taking two-part questions at 314-399-9646 and also in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat, youtube.com/TMASTL. That is how you can get involved on the program. JR, I enjoyed the column yesterday, and you were giving your off-season predictions.
Yeah, and I was telling people yesterday that when you set out to write that story, you just kind of attack each individual storyline on its own. You know, will Kyrou get traded? Will Binnington get traded? And there was no intent to get to the end of the story and have the Blues doing nothing. And I actually realized that when I wrote the last paragraph. Holy smokes, this looks like, the way I painted it, a quiet offseason. I don't think it's going to be a quiet offseason. I think they're going to do some things. But when you look at those individual storylines that I mentioned, it just seems that it's going to be tough to pull off and get done what the Blues want to get done.
When you say do some things, what things would you see
just
them
looking
doing?
at the, like if you go by one, you look at Thomas. Are they going to trade him? I don't think they are. Are they going to trade Kyrou? They could, but they'd be selling absolutely low. Pennies on the dollar. Are they going to trade Binnington? I don't think so. It looks like they're talking like they want the two goaltenders and long season, 84 games. So I just look at each individual situation. It's going to be tough, but at the same time, I think they're going to have to give something. So there's going to have to be some give and take on those deals.
JR taking these two-part questions here. JR, what is the likelihood of Ottawa moving Brady Tkachuk? And second question, last night at the Sappington Lounge, I got lucky in the parking lot with a little muffin top dancing to Sabrina Carpenter at the jukebox all night. Think I should try my luck again tonight. I feel a heater coming. That's from Grimy from South County.
I would definitely go back, Grimy. I mean, if you have that kind of luck on a Tuesday night, the Wednesday nights are usually better, I think, right, Chairman?
I'm a Thursday.
Thursday, guy.
Thursday.
And the first part of that two-parter was?
I like how the first part is the hockey part, and JR doesn't remember that part. He gets right to the meat on the bone. I believe it was about Brady Tkachuk.
Brady Tkachuk.
Yes. The new Matthew Tkachuk, where we just can't stop talking about bringing a Tkachuk home.
Marty, you're one of the smartest guys I know, and I can't believe I didn't catch on to the part that I forgot it on purpose. I was trying to move past it. That's already hitting the airwaves, right? The Brady Tkachuk, it's all over. And I know that the GM there in Ottawa already put it to rest as much as he could. He said, hey, listen, we're not even going to talk to Brady. That's not a conversation. We're not dealing with that again. But obviously in St. Louis and around the league, people want to know if Brady Tkachuk is available. I just don't see that the Blues are going that direction. I think they have to have some interest. I think they'd have to check into it. But what has Doug Armstrong and the Blues said the past couple months is that, we're continuing with that retool. And part of the reason they were checking into trading Robert Thomas is that he's 26, could be 29 by the time they're ready to compete. Not saying Blues fans agree with that premise, but that's what they've put out there is, do these players fit their timeline for winning? Brady Tkachuk only 2 months younger than Robert Thomas. So it's a situation is, are you trying to win now? Are you trying to compete? You're trying to bring a Brady Tkachuk in? If you are, you're going to give up a lot of good young assets that are helping this retool to bring him in here.
JR, I like percentages.
Yeah.
What percentage would you give that Brady Tkachuk gets traded to St. Louis?
Gets traded to St. Louis. Are we talking this offseason or when he's 37?
This offseason.
I'm going to say 5%.
All right, Doug. 1 out of 20. How do you like it?
It sounds like the Ottawa GM was a firm no. It's not happening.
Yeah, he's a firm no. And I don't think it's going to happen. But look, I know Doug Armstrong's handing the reins to Alexander Steen, but how many times have we been shocked by a Doug Armstrong move, and especially on the way out the door? What kind of present would that be? Hey, St. Louis, thanks for the 16 years in the GM chair. Here's Brady Tkachuk.
Yeah, you do.
And what brought, is it because he had a bad playoff series? Why all of a sudden, because he's been under contract there for a while, he's been the captain in Ottawa for a while. What do you think prompted this recent wave?
I just think that the season's over and that you might as well start speculating again. And, that they only...
sums it up.
Yeah, it's about it. And it's one round. They made it. They've been trying to get over the hump for a few years now. Does Brady believe that there's a future there for the team in terms of getting 2, 3, even 4 rounds in the playoffs? And also, I really do think, guys, that it ties into Matthew wanted out of Calgary, right? He wanted to go somewhere else. He goes to Florida. He wins a couple cups. A lot of people say Brady wants out of Canada. I'm not saying there's validity to that. But when people talk about Brady Tkachuk, they say he wants out of Ottawa, he wants out of Canada, he wants to get to play for a U.S. team.
I've got this one here. Did you already discuss Armstrong and Monty's responses to the captain questions you asked? And second question, did you find Monty's arm hair real sexy like I did? That's Rusty Pecker writing.
Come on, Rusty.
Doug, did you see the arm hair? I didn't see it.
I didn't notice it, no.
But to the responses about the captaincy, I did find it a little interesting when Monty said, do we have that captain? I don't know if we do. Now, maybe I'm reading too much into it when he says that, but it seemed to question, do they have that type of guy? And when he said, we might not, it kind of raises some eyebrows. But I don't think he meant it to that fullest extent. I think he meant we need to continue to look at the situation, see if we have the guy. And if we do, then he said he would be in favor of naming a captain. I really do think, like you guys think, this is all tied to Thomas, and is he going to be here? And if he is, and they don't want to give him the C, do they hold off naming the C? I think there's probably conversations behind the scenes in terms of how they want to talk about this, how they want to handle it, and that's what we heard on that day of the press conference.
Why would they hesitate to give Thomas the captaincy?
Well, if they get to a point in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks when they decide, hey, we're 3-4 years from winning, we're going to continue with the retool, we're going to continue to stockpile the assets, we're not going to make any major big splashes to try to be competitive next year, and therefore we're going to trade Robert Thomas. And that may not happen and probably won't happen, but I think that's the reason why you don't see a press conference in 2 weeks to name,
because he may not be here long term. Yeah. So why slap the C on him if he's not your long-term guy?
Yeah, and Army has always said you name the guy who is the right person for the Canada's captaincy now. You don't think about 2 or 3 years from now. But I think that you're right, Marty. I think that when you look at that situation, if you don't think a guy will be here in 2 years, then, why do you go down that road with the captain?
I think you're right about Monty, too, because at first I heard it as we don't have anybody in the room that could really check all the boxes. But I think listening to him over the years, he does kind of talk in question form, not quite like Jack Buck. He wouldn't homer here, would he? But he will say things out loud like, do you have a captain in the room? Do you even have the right guy? Like, I think he's just kind of workshopping the bigger idea of a captain, as opposed to specific to his players.
Yeah, when it first came out, that's what I heard, but the head coach isn't going to come out and question, some of the guys who could be those types of leaders.
If Thomas might be too old at 26, what are they doing with players on the roster like Sundqvist and Drouin and Nathan Walker? And what's the point?
Yeah, well, I think that's just part of this evolution of the roster. Like, when they're ready to win, those players likely won't be here. Some of them might not be here next year. So, I don't think they're putting anybody who's going to be 29 and older in a couple years and just shooing them away. I just think that when you look at the Thomas situation, they're saying, hey, could you get a top number 4 overall pick from a couple years ago from the Utah Mammoth in exchange for Robert Thomas? Because now you're getting a guy who's going to be 21, 22, 23 when you're ready to win, as opposed to a Thomas who's 29.
JR, we've got this one from Harrison's brother, Master. I don't know if you're surprised that he's writing in. Good morning, JR. Great article yesterday. Do you really think they're going to run it back? Also, if you can't trade Kyrou when he has a good season like last year, and you can't trade him when he has a bad season like this year, when can you trade him?
Oh,
From Harrison's brother Master, you wrote about the Blues would be selling low in your column yesterday.
Yeah, and I just don't think that they will. Now, this summer, if there's a deal that presents itself where, let's just say it's multi-layers, maybe there's picks and prospects going, maybe there's a guy, another team needs a change of scenery, so maybe on the surface you look at a deal that happens and you say, okay, well, they didn't necessarily sell low for Kyrou there because they got something in exchange. I just don't think they're going into a one-for-one trade for Jordan Kyrou this summer where it's visible that they didn't get anything for him. I just don't think that's going to be the situation. If that's the case, then you might as well try to get those numbers back up and make a move later. Maybe the answer to Harrison's question is they should have traded him, after he came off a good season prior to this year. But at the time, you feel like maybe he's trending in the right direction. So, those are always tough calls to make.
So in the end of all these potential pieces, who do you think is getting traded? None?
Well,
or most likely of all of them, who would you say is the most likely?
Well, if you had to nail it to one, I would think that it would be Kyrou. If you could move him, if you felt there was some value. I just don't think it's going to be Thomas, and I don't think you can trade Buchnevich, and I think that it would
be.
Yeah, I don't
like
think
literally like can.
Yeah.
Not because you can't trade him, because you just can't afford to.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
You cannot
move. You cannot move the contract. If you do, then you're probably sending a first-round pick and maybe even more to sweeten it, and I don't think the Blues are trying to do that. And I don't even know if a team would take that Buchnevich contract with a first-round pick.
I really think they're going to trade Bennington. I just can't believe that he would accept a backup role at this point in his career. He's only 32 still.
And I agree with you on that. And he even said it when he answered that question. He said, look, I'm a competitive goalie. You guys know. But he said, I'm going to have some conversations with Steen. I can't envision Steen and Bennington having a conversation and it not coming out with a, hey, we need you. Hey, you're going to have a chance here. Look, it's a long season. Joel slips up a little bit. You got the net. You know who the future is. It is Joel Hofer, but we need you here. And I can't see Bennington in the final year of his contract wanting to go to a different organization where now he's got to reprove himself with different teammates to try to get his next contract. I think you'd want to go where the comfort level is.
I could see him saying, well, I could always leave next summer. We got one more year, and you're going to play as a backup. You're going to play 30 games. I think it would come down to the perfect situation. Let's say, Montreal needed to go. I'm just making it up. And they said, you want to go there? Oh, okay, that sounds kind of appealing. Hey, the Leafs really want you. You can be in your hometown, whatever. I think if there's the perfect scenario, he says yes, but I think he's more likely to say, I'm good.
That's what it seems like to me. It really does. And you guys had Doug Armstrong on. We had him on the podcast, and, he made the reference to, hey, we got both of our goalies signed for next year. It was almost like matter of fact when he said it. The intent didn't sound like, if or, buts. It sounded like, he's coming back.
A lot of Jordan Kyrou questions, but somehow even more variations of the spelling of his last name.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a tricky one. It's a lot of letters.
Cairo. Doug, that's a city in Egypt.
Yeah. You suppose he did that
Illinois, yeah.
They call
voice
it
to
Cairo.
text, and that's what the Siri came up with?
Could be. JR, what if we throw in Sharon on the Buchnevich deal? That's from Sharon's Ledoux Pool Boy.
Yeah, we're not getting rid of Sharon. We love Sharon.
Oh, how about that endorsement?
Alliance.
How about that? You're in an alliance with Sharon. Big moment. Another lackluster season from Bennington only lowers his value. I take that risk. That's from the Hunchback of Von Castle.
Because even if he has a great season, first of all, it's going to help you. Second of all, I don't think the return is going to be that great if you try to trade him. You're talking Bennington, not Kyrou, right? You said Bennington.
Bennington, yes, that was the question.
Yeah, and
topics move quickly on this program.
His contract is up after next year, and he's likely not coming back here to be the backup after that. So I don't see the harm in bringing him back for one more year.
No harm, but you'd save a boatload of money if you could trade him for a prospect.
You would, but
aren't you going to go out then and sign a journeyman backup goalie?
And you don't know what you're getting.
$2 to $3 million, so you've saved a couple million. You
don't know what you're getting, and you also know that you have a good chemistry here with Bennington and Hofer, and Bennington is just, he's known. He's in the locker room. They know he's a competitor. I realize he had a tough year this year, but he's still a good goalie when you look around the league at what's out there. And I know he had a bad year. I'm not trying to deny that. All I'm trying to say is, there are some bad goalies out there.
And if you really believe Hofer is your guy, meaning the Blues, moving forward, if this is what they believe, I think they feel like having Bennington next to him next year benefits the club, makes Hofer better.
Yeah, for
long
sure.
term.
For sure. And the way I probably should have said it is if you were going into a year where Bennington was going to lose the job to Hofer and you were going to have to deal with that, that's one thing. We've already been through that. Bennington already knows that Joel Hofer is taking over. So now it's a situation where, hey, let's support Joel Hofer. Let's be the best 1B goaltender you can be. And Bennington knows the situation. So if he signs up for that, he knows it, you know it, everybody knows the situation.
Why not trade Bennington, Doug? I love the guy, but let's get something for him before he just walks away next year for absolutely nothing, Doug. Bennington.
That's a good question. What's the return? And I don't think that's significant either for a guy with 1 year left.
Yeah, not coming off the year that he had at his age with making $6 million.
What else? That was asked and answered. Next. Next topic. That was a one-parter. What else?
For a number one goalie with his credentials, you don't think you could get much for him?
I mean, maybe before last year you could have got a first rounder, maybe. Now, after his season last year and being a year older, I don't think that you're getting a first rounder.
I got to say, give him credit at the deadline, too. I mean, the Islanders got fleeced. The Wings got fleeced. I mean, love Shen, love Falk, but you got a first-round pick. Ship those guys out. You're not going anywhere. Those are steals.
Yep, great work. And now you got a situation. You're going to the draft with 3 first-round picks, and you guys got the. I know you're going to watch the draft lotto, Doug.
Yeah, May 4th, May 5th.
May 5th.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
It's kind of a tradition around here. We have Cinco de Mayo. We watch the NHL lottery.
Yeah. Grab a margarita and watch the lotto.
And they could still get the first pick, right? Very small percentage.
3% chance you could jump from number 11 to number 1. But also there's another drawing for the number 2 pick, and they have Detroit's pick from the Falk deal, which is number 15, and that could climb too.
JR giving us his perspective. Brought to you by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies. Jeremy Rutherford brought to you by Mark Hanna every Wednesday here at approximately 8:45 on the Morning After 101 ESPN and the TMA STL YouTube channel. JR, always appreciate the time, sir. Thank you so much.
Yep, just like Soup, I got a heart out for Mass today.
Oh, you got Mass.
He's got Mass as well. 9:15. Soup's Mass is at 10:15. Jeremy Rutherford, appreciate it, man.
Thanks, boys.
That's Jeremy Rutherford, brought to you by Mark Hanna. Sources tell me that Mike McGreevy is going to be calling in here in a matter of moments live from
Shouldn't he
Pittsburgh.
be golfing?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Big leaguer?
We'll talk it over with the Cardinals starter coming up next here on the program. Then on the Polos Plus dossier, we'll have the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today at 9:45. Martin, do you know anything about Seth Goldcamp? Do you know anything about Design Air Heating and Cooling?
I do. Thanks for asking. I appreciate that. Yeah, Design Air Heating and Cooling is a name you've heard in St. Louis for a long time. You've heard it on this show for a long time. And over the years, the technology changes. One thing is still the same, and that is the treatment you get from this company when they're in your home, making those repairs, letting you know what they need to do to get that furnace, air conditioning unit, that HVAC unit year-round. They'll let you know what needs to be done. They're not going to add on, not going to try and sell you something you don't need. That's something that Seth Goldcamp and his team are very clear on. They're not trying to upsell you. It's stressful enough when the AC is not working in the summer. They're going to get it back up and running real quick. Another thing to look into, the maintenance plans to take care of that HVAC unit year-round. Look into those as well. It's designerservice.com. That's where you can sign up online. A little cooler right now. Maybe the AC's back to turned off before the summer hits. Get a tune-up with our friends at designerservice.com.
There it is. Design Air Heating and Cooling, sponsor of the email today here on the program at 9:45. Mike McGreevy live from Pittsburgh, where the Cardinals will try to make it 3 in a row over the Pirates today. That's next on TMA 101 ESPN and the TMA STL YouTube channel from the Stiefel Studios.
Headed out of town this summer? Want to make plans right now? You can do it by flying out of Mid-America's St. Louis Airport in Muscoda, Illinois. We've talked a lot about the access there, the great terminal. You can park, walk in. It's so convenient, folks. Start to figure this out, and you're headed somewhere nice and warm. So many different Florida destinations. Want to take the family down to Orlando, catch a flight Destin instead of that 12-hour drive, be there in an hour and 15. Gulf Shores, 1-year anniversary of all those trips being flown directly to Gulf Shores. They go to Vegas. They go to Charleston. Oh, my gosh. So many great spots to head to when you fly out of Mid-America St. Louis Airport. Allegiant Airlines gets you the great pricing, and Mid-America St. Louis Airport gets you the convenience. FlyMidAmerica.com is the website. They've been picking up awards throughout the region for the convenience, the great work that they're doing. The word has spread. Want to take the family on a great trip this summer? Book it online at FlyMidAmerica.com.
Compressing balls, riding in you custom club carriage. But don't ever knock off just from sucker, a cheapskate.
That
hurts.
Wow, it's heartbreaking. You can just sit there and picture yourself at the bar enjoying a whiskey and thinking about the opportunity to play Grove, maybe see Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley out there, and instead you save the money.
Saying no, too expensive.
Yeah,
$500.
Yeah.
So I'll just walk over to Alcoa,
Alcoa, of course, the sponsor of Alcoa. Can't wait for
you
tomorrow. You make the call. That's correct.
Yeah, I could have been at the grill. There's Martin at the Stadium Grill eating a dolphin sandwich editing. That's exciting. Could have been at the Grove.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome to the program friend of the show on the Callier and Thompson phone line, St. Louis Cardinals starter. Dougie's got a 2.97 ERA.
Not
Look,
bad.
it's Mike McGreevy here on 101 ESPN. Morning, Mike.
Good morning, guys. I mean, am I a friend of the show when I'm greeted like that? I mean,
hey, Jackson plays the music. Jackson play. That's your guy, Papers. That's your boy. That's your boy.
We were all against it.
I don't know. Wow, quick to pass the blame to Papers there. That's crazy.
Martin, Doug, and I have no idea how to run the board, so trust me, we couldn't have done it.
It's only about 10 minutes into the program we start calling on Papers, but just immediately right to him.
Yeah, we had to take him out. We had to cut him at the quick right away. What's going on in Pittsburgh on a Wednesday morning?
Oh, it's some gray skies. Looks like it rained last night, but I think we'll play today. That's for sure. Just getting some nice little breakfast in here and talking to some of my favorite people in St. Louis.
Oh, how about that, Doug? Now things are warming up here. How come you're not playing Oakmont right now?
Just did not bring the clubs this trip. Just
really
thought there were some things I wanted to focus on this week, just with some mechanics stuff that I'm like, let's not just we might be late to the field if we play Oakmont, just with how awesome it is. It's like, let's say that's for another trip. So I put that down with Walshy. We come back here again, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, let's do that next time.
Oh, baseball coming first, Tim.
I don't like that.
Gotta help out the people of St. Louis, I guess. To try to win some ball games.
I think, were you on the top of the dugout the other day amongst those who were excited with the big comeback on Monday? I feel like I saw you hooting and hollering.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're all out there. That's for sure. It was crazy. After the sixth inning, you start saying wow, this guy's got a perfect game. It was the bullpen for them. Whoa, they're throwing a perfect game, perfect, and they just kind of yell it. And so when Burley got that infield hit, and you just go nuts, hey, nobody no hits the Redbirds, and then all of a sudden score 4 in the ninth. It's ooh, nice, we win.
And that hit by Burleson was a no-doubter, too.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. No doubter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, actually, in all seriousness, those ones are kind of no-doubters. That would be the hit to break up a perfect game / no-hitter. So, it's off the bat. It's that's probably a hit before Gonzalez even puts a glove on. It's he's getting there. Especially as a pitcher, I just know that feeling of it's a hit.
Did you ever throw a no-hitter in your career earlier? Not in the majors, but earlier?
I was 1 out away in high school. I think I hit, we would have won 4-1. I hit a guy in the first, or it was an error in the first, and that run ended up scoring. But still no hits. And then I was in the seventh inning, 2 outs, pop up to right, and no one was really thinking too much about it. But I knew it going into the seventh, and my right fielder pulls up and he lets it drop. And so I get the next guy out, and I come up to him Jimmy, did you know I was throwing a no-hitter? He's like, yeah, I just want to keep you honest. I'm like, brother, that'll be the last time I might actually do that. So well, I will not say I appreciate you, but that sucks.
Yeah. You got to dive after everything at that point in the game.
Exactly, but I mean, we won anyway, so it really didn't matter.
No,
win's a win.
And you were kind enough to express gratitude to the fan base for the turnout this past weekend against the Mariners.
It was awesome to see. I walk outside for that Friday game, Friday night, and I was like, oh my gosh, was there a promotion? I think there was a Grateful Dead cover band.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Concert before the game. But I mean, it was packed, and we're like, wow, great crowd, absolutely great crowd for a Friday night. And then Saturday like day game, we're like, oh, that's kind of weird. Like, we'll see how it turns out. And then both Saturday and Sunday, just great turnouts. And I feel terrible that I was talking to the media after my game. It's just baseball's baseball. We could have won all of those games. We ended up losing all those games. It was the same thing with certain games this year. It's like, hey, like, we could have lost that game. We could have won that game. It's just baseball kind of bites in the ass sometimes that, hey, it just didn't get done. But they're all close. They're all competitive. And that's a good team that teams might see in the playoffs and the Mariners. And we were super close with them, and just kind of sucks that we weren't able to deliver for the fan base despite their great showing. And I mean, hopefully for the Dodgers this weekend, we get the same thing.
You lost all three by a combined 4 runs. It just speaks to how close the series was. Then Monday night, you're real close to losing a 5th in a row. And I wonder, like, momentum-wise, we talk about it on the outside, but if you do lose a 5th in a row, it'd be hard not to kind of sag a little bit. Do you feel like games like that kind of just kind of interrupt what could be a slide that, like, oh, God, and then that feeling sets in?
Yeah, I definitely. It's, how many games in a row like you've lost just with like how sucky the feeling is of losing no matter what. How, like, whether you lose by 20, you lose by 1, it still sucks. But I think being able to scratch and claw and being able to win that first one here in Pittsburgh was huge for the momentum, just stopping the skid a little bit, and then being able to come out hot yesterday and taking game 2, and hopefully that can continue for the rest of the series. We have a chance to win the series against the division opponent today, which is huge for overall standings. The NL Central is looking extremely competitive so far this year, so every one of these divisional games matter. I'm
sorry. I apologize for cutting. I was going to ask. This is just from a baseball centric question. The Pirates were in that weird spot on Monday where they had a bullpen game at the start of a 4-game series. I know you're observing it through the lens of a starting pitcher, but because they had to go through, if I'm not mistaken, Mike, 8 pitchers on Monday night, they were positioned that if the offense could get to them early, that they were vulnerable without days off in the series, that could be advantageous. And so I was curious if that's something that is discussed amongst the team, because I was observing that before the game yesterday and thinking, okay, if they can get to them, what happened on Monday night could create a domino effect from their rotation and bullpen standpoint. That's what I was curious about.
Yeah, I mean, of course, like, you could always, like, that's another factor you can, like, add into the game. It's like my game on Sunday. Say, the bullpen stand, we need McGreevy to go deep in the game. Not just making the game bigger than it needs to be.
Yeah.
I think, like, guys, if we put up runs this game, they'll be screwed for the rest of the games. Like, technically, sure, but, I mean, you want to score runs every game. Like, why not put up 10 every time? So it'd be a nice kind of thing to have and do, but at the same time, like, you're just trying to win the game, and whether they have to call up a ton of guys from AAA, like they did yesterday with Hunter Barco that ended up finishing the game after Ashcraft. He threw like 80 pitches out of the pen. He was wearing his grays, for his gray pants, because they're AAA teams in Memphis right now. So I could tell, I'm like, he didn't pack his white cleats. So they were just going to do stuff like that. Had we had gotten to their bullpen and they really needed to just wear a guy out and they were down a guy or two, they would have just called somebody up from AAA and filled that spot, and then their guys would have been fresh again. So it's just adding another layer to it that we really don't need to. It's just added stress and pressure. I mean, these hitters already have the hardest job in sports of hitting a baseball coming in, especially their bullpen throwing 100 miles per hour. It seems like every guy does. It's the hardest thing to do in sports. So adding extra pressure to them is probably something they don't really try to worry about.
It does seem like every team's got some relievers coming in throwing 100 or close to it, and yet every team also has a shortage of starting pitchers. Why do you think that is? Why is it so hard for teams to find quality starting pitchers?
It's just the way the game seems to be going right now. I mean, with the numbers games and like seeing the third time through the order and the averages being the highest of the third time through, teams maybe don't want their starter to face the team, which would be the third time through in the 5th or 6th inning. So then you need a lot of horses in the bullpen just to kind of just weather the storm for a good amount of the innings instead of the starter taking up the bigger portion of it. So to see good quality starting pitching that consistently goes 6 maybe is becoming a rarity, but I also think it's coming back in today's game as well. It's such a highs and lows. Like in the past, like, four-seamers were the thing, and then lately you see sinkers again starting to become a thing, and, you know, sweepers or small sliders or curveballs or the changeup coming back. It's like, it's such like a bad and like what's in kind of game, and like what people are going with. So whether we see in the next couple of years that every starting pitcher is going 6 again, it's all just ebbs and flows with the game.
You get to face the Dodgers Saturday night on Fox, a nice premier primetime game, their network game. They're all the same. They all count the same. But, hey, it's the Dodgers, premier lineup. You get a little extra amped up for that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, growing up a San Diego Padres fan, I hate the Dodgers. So I'm sure my little brother would be very happy if I won, if the Cardinals beat the Dodgers. That's for sure. I cried one time when my first Little League team were like, you didn't just want to be on a coach's team. It was like the draft in Little League. You got to do a tryout and the coaches draft you. My first ever team was the Los Angeles Dodgers, and I cried my eyes out when my mom told me I was on the Dodgers. And my dad was like, I'm so proud. I'm so proud of him. He was crying my eyes out because I'm on the Dodgers.
Well, he's a true son. He hates the Dodgers. Cardinal fans are going to enjoy hearing this.
That Padres-Dodgers thing's a real deal.
Yeah, seriously. But like you said, you don't try to make the game bigger than it is. They're all guys like Shohei Ohtani, who's like one of the best players on the planet. He's just a lefty in the box. That's kind of what you have to chop him down to, just to not make the game too big. Like, Mookie Betts, he's a righty. Freddie Freeman's a lefty. So if you try to just simplify the game and pitch to your strengths.
Mike McGreevy is our guest here live from Pittsburgh. Cardinals and Pirates tonight as the Cardinals try to make it 3 straight. He'll get the ball on Saturday against the Dodgers. The audience enjoying the conversation. Mike, McGreevy has a lot of Wainwright in his demeanor. That's from Eric in the Central West End. How about that? This guy needs to truly be the PR face of the team. Hope he continues to make his way around the community. Doug, that's Grandma Johan. And then right above that, that's from the 314, I freaking love this kid. How about that? You got endorsements in this text inbox, and they usually hate everything about every one of us every day for every hour of the show.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Yeah, that's funny about the PR. Me and JJ were talking to Nathan Church. I mean, Church is having a great month or so, and he's like, dude, I don't know how to talk to the media. And me and JJ were coaching him up. We're like, dude, short, quick answers, hold yourself accountable, no excuses, and hype up your teammates. That's all I want to hear.
Wow, you got the bullet points for it too.
Is that easy? I mean, us first rounders, me and JJ, I guess. Whatever.
Us first rounders, I like that.
Did Church actually? He came to you guys and said, "Hey, I don't know what," because he's been playing well. That means he's getting talked to more.
No. Not really. It was more just like in the moment. He was just brought up in conversation. He wasn't coming to us for help.
I'm sure there's times, though, when someone sticks a camera in your face and starts asking questions that you never even thought about before. It can be a little unnerving. You don't want to come across as an idiot when they're asking questions that you never even considered before.
Yeah, I like to think I haven't been asked a question that I haven't really considered before. I feel like our media does a good job with just asking questions. The only thing that like I get a little like flustered on is like if I get the same question asked to me again and I know I've answered it before, I want to try to answer it differently, but it's like, dude, I've answered that. It's like I don't know what else you want me to say. I'm sorry. It's like I shouldn't have thrown that. Yes, I shouldn't have thrown that pitch to Cal Raleigh. Duh.
Oh, well, don't get angry. I like that.
Get a
That's the
snippy.
answer. Tell Church to answer the question like that.
I think Chris Carpenter, the Cardinal stud, would often say, again, when he would answer. If he felt like somebody was revisiting a topic, he would kind of in that scratchy voice just say, again, I didn't want to throw a four-seamer or whatever. That's the way to politely put people in their place. But yeah, there are times. Well, the other thing is if you're the starting pitcher and you get like Wainwright, veteran, would wait. And he'd be like, Martin, hold on. He'd wait for everybody so he didn't have to repeat himself. But if you're a starting pitcher and you start talking, I got nicked by your guy Dustin May because we got into the locker room. And I look over there. He's talking to a couple of people, and we were running over there. We got in as quick as we could. He'd answered a couple of questions, and I said, hey, what do you make of your last 2 starts versus your first 2? He said, already discussed that earlier. Oh. And I said, well, I couldn't get here any quicker than I did. That's going to happen at times when you're asked to repeat something.
Yeah. I mean, difference between, like, just D-May and me. I'm grateful. I mean, you guys always have the time of day. Help me get on the Grove, and I guess D-May just forgot all about it.
Nice. There it is. Put that audio off, and we'll send it to him.
Gosh, now I wish, because I wish in the moment I would have said, hey, pal, we got you on the Grove, okay?
Yep. I wonder what he would have responded to that. What do you
I don't think it would have gone well. Maybe Bartow and Whitty would have, okay, guys, that's enough. Let's wrap this up.
We were updating is there was an outing for the team last week. Now, Mike here went out and played 18 on his own, Doug. I mean, that's commitment to excellence.
I guess, yeah.
And was having some problems, it sounded like.
Oh, yeah. No, I was using, so I went out to Aberdeen early in the morning because I had heard good things. Heavily was a little, I think the earliest I could have got that day was like 9 a.m. And in retrospect, it would have been plenty of time, but I kind of wanted to, do some chores like in between rounds, maybe make some lunch or do something before. But so I went to Aberdeen. I'm like, I'll treat this as a practice round before I go play Gateway with like 7 of the guys. And my miss on the drive is like a slice. There's a hard fade, slice.
Doug, he just pushes the ball off, and he's a left-handed swinging golfer. You've seen Phil Mickelson.
Sure. That's kind of bizarre,
right? And then all of a sudden, I'm just snap hooking everything. And I'm like, oh, no. Like, this practice round is hurting more than helping right now. So.
And you had to be worried that today was going to be the day Pages was going to clip you. That's what you had to be thinking as you drove to Gateway.
I mean, I had to be worried. I mean, being the terrible teammate I am, I'm constantly preying on other golfers in my foursome's downfall, just wanting to beat them. I don't want them to have career lows at all, even though every time that I play with Pedro, he has a career low. But whatever. That's just the rumor that McGreevy's roots against people playing golf. Whatever.
Yep, that's a rumor.
But we get to Gateway and hole 1 straight out of the gate, just dead straight. And it was a great day. Shot a 74 there, which was great. So it was a great first time out at Gateway.
Boom. What a response to the disappointing morning and the concerning morning even at Aberdeen.
Yeah, I mean, you make a bad pitch, so what? You got to make another one. Here you go.
Look at that. That's
all you got to do.
That's quite the attitude. Who finished in second of the 8 members of the St. Louis Cardinals baseball club?
I would have to think either Leahy or Pages did. They were in the group in front of me. So the group in front was Pages and JC, Leahy, Graceffo, and then my group was me, Stokes from the clubhouse, and Romero and Palante. And I would have to think it was between Leahy and Pages up top.
Doesn't sound like you were impressed with anybody in your pairing.
Stokes played fine, but no, Palante had a tough one. but he ensured that he was getting this tough one out on the golf course. So he has a great day today here in Pittsburgh.
He was looking ahead 6 days for his start in Pittsburgh. Man, these guys, this is why they're big leaguers.
They're dialed in.
Yeah, they're dialed
in. When they're
in.
golfing, you think they're goofing, but no, they're prepping for baseball.
They're constantly thinking about what pitches to throw while we're trying to line up a 3-footer with our knees shaking.
See?
Sure.
That's what it is.
Is there anybody who's just a horrible golfer? I'd like to know that you guys aren't great at every sport.
Yeah, I mean, there's guys that are just starting out. Like I've been grateful to learn this game since I was 5. I'd stay with my grandparents, but there's guys that have just started out like around 2022 or even COVID and stuff like that. So they're still learning. So we're not going to, they're terrible. It's like, well, yeah, they've been playing for 2 to 3 years max.
No, not going to out anybody.
No, not yet. Not yet.
All right.
Once they get maybe a year or 2 more under their belt, then I'll start outing people.
Okay, fair enough.
Until then,
a couple years from now,
they're all yeah, they're all great times to have in your foursome.
A couple of years from now, Tim will call and say, I'm sorry, what do you guys want? Like, oh, we just thought we'd jack around a little bit. I got to go, man.
No, already discussed that, actually, Tim. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's enough of the calls. I think, at this point, if you're beating the teammates by 15, 16 strokes, I think it's probably time that you say to D. May, all right, let's go heads up and decide who's wearing the belt on this club, because from my understanding of the scores, he's the only one who could probably hang in your same area code.
Absolutely. I mean, he had a good showing at the Grove, and we went. There was a few times where he got a little unlucky, where it's just like, hey, the ball landed here. It's just, well, where is it? It's like it just disappeared, and we all know that in golf. So I think especially Gateway, it's pretty wide open. You got a couple fairways to use here and there on certain holes, from what it seems. A couple drivable par fours.
You like the bent grass?
Where the wind's going. I thought the grass was great.
Oh yeah, that bent grass is only a handful of courses in the area have that bent grass. That allows Doug here to compress the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, knock it off.
Did you see wasn't it Grove was the place, you alluded to this earlier, Tim, where a former Cardinal, Vince Coleman, by the way, I tried to get him on. He's not interested in doing interviews right now, but Vince Coleman, former Cardinal, got Barkley and Jordan back on the same page. I think it took place at
Vince Coleman was playing. Yeah, there had been like a Cold War between Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley, and I get the sense that Vince might have been enjoying a libation or two at the clubhouse following around with Jordan, and he just called up Barkley and said, listen, I'm sitting here with Jordan. You guys need to grow up. Come down here to Grove and work out your differences. It's ridiculous that you guys haven't talked in so long. And so Barkley was flying down there to talk it over with Jordan and heal whatever wounds had been causing their frustrations.
Yeah, is that what we need to do? Like, we need to pretend like we got some like beef, and oh, hey, Mike, we need to really get Mike and Tim back on track.
We got to work this out.
Come down the Grove. Like we just fake something just so we can play it again.
It's not a bad idea, Doug.
You maybe need to do that at Augusta National too. That would really smooth things over.
Pine Valley, we got to work it out. We got a variety of places we need to work it out. Yeah, make
I could Uber 25. I could Uber 25 minutes to Oakmont real quick and really work something out.
See. That's what it is. Well, you've got it timed out too. When the boys go back to Pittsburgh, I have a feeling you'll be there. You can break 80 at that thing. That'd be a hell of an accomplishment.
Oh, yeah, right.
Mike McGreevy with us here on the program. He's getting the ball on Saturday against the Dodgers. Wanted to express to St. Louis Cardinal fans that the club appreciated seeing the number of fans at the ballpark on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You boys keep winning, and that'll just become commonplace. That place will be packed, So hopefully that continues here through the final two in Pittsburgh, and then get a chance to go up against the Dodgers, who you are not a fan of, just dating back to being a San Diego Padres fan growing up.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to it.
Mike, always appreciate the time, man. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, take it easy. That's Mike McGreevy with us live from Pittsburgh. Cardinals and Pirates tonight, and they will try to make it 3 in a row against Pittsburgh. And maybe Doug get a sweep. Paul Skeens tomorrow, maybe get the sweep.
Why not? Put the Pirates back in their place. They belong in the cellar.
Well, that's where they are. They just have a winning record. So.
That's where they need to stay.
You're welcome to give your thoughts for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today. That's coming up here in a matter of moments. The morning after at InsideSTL.com. Doug, can you tell us about Design Air?
Well, Design Air is the place you need to call whenever you have any kind of issue with your heating or air conditioning, or even if you don't. Maybe you could get involved with that service plan that they have. Come on, take all the worry out of any maintenance problems you might have with your HVAC system. Seth Goldcamp is the guy in charge there, 4th generation member of the family that's been running Design Air Heating and Cooling dealing since way back in 1904. Not just another HVAC company, longest running sponsor on TMA. At Design Air, they believe in honest work. You're never going to be sold something that you don't need. So whether you're dealing with the St. Louis cold or the summer heat, they have got your back with dependable service and no pressure solutions. Visit designairservice.com. Schedule your service today. Design Air is comfort you can count on since 1904, perhaps better known as being the home of the handsome repairman. There's always the rugged Joe. Maybe he brings joy, maybe he does not. But Joe will be there, and Lord knows he is rugged. Design Air brings the heat.
We'll have the email today brought to you by Design Air next here on TMA 101 ESPN. TMA 101 ESPN 950 in St. Louis, 9 o'clock hour, brought to you by Mark Hanna. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Martin Kilcoyne with you on the program. You can always podcast this show via the Schaefer Door Company podcast app, or you can go and watch it on YouTube anytime you would like. YouTube.com/TMASTL. It's time for our Design Air Heating and Cooling Email of the Day. Ba-da-da-da-da. Hey, guys. Jackson's disappointed me before, but yesterday might have been the all-time low. You get a chance to do 15 minutes solo on HD2. Another gift from Tim. An opportunity to build your brand, baby. And the answer was no thanks? You think Howard Stern said no? Michael Jordan? Bill Cosby? Wait, never mind. Bad example. But the bottom line is, do you want this, or are you trying to graduate top of the class from Iggy's School of Work Ethic? That was unbelievable. It's from the Hunchback of Vaughn Castle.
Okay, Hunchback of Vaughn Castle.
Jackson, do you have any response to the Hunchback of Vaughn Castle?
We had to get to the Missouri.
You were part of the Mizzou presentation.
If I would have done the extra 15 minutes, I wouldn't have made it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
simple
were
as
part
that.
of,
But
and you
go
wanted
with
to fight
whatever,
guys there?
Go with whatever narrative you want.
You were part of the Deus TMA presentation.
That's right. They wanted you there. Now there were guys that wanted to fight you.
By the end, they just wanted to fight all of us.
Did you take anybody's measure?
No. Everyone was really nice.
Good morning. Doug and I believe a gentleman can be a fan of two teams. For example, I am a fan of my beautiful fiance and a beautifully voiced khaki wearing man. Sexually, of course. That's from Salad Fingers.
Salad Fingers. He's new.
Fellas, Big Tank Del Vecchio here. Had something similar happen to me years back. This was after my third, let's call it, forced separation from Waterloo's biggest HD9 flamethrower. Waterloo has an HD9 flamethrower?
What does that even mean?
Springfield comes calling. Tank, we got a producer slot for you. Now, at the same time, I was between opportunities again, which in our business just means a little more time to monitor former station owners and poke around Spartacus threads. So I call my agent. He says, Tank, when you're unemployed and living in sponsored housing, the key is leverage. I said, what leverage? He said, exactly. That's why you create it. So I call Springfield back and I tell him I don't really want to produce anymore, but I'd be open to a leadership role remotely from my old man jitterbug phone. Martin, are you familiar with the jitterbug phone?
I am not. Is that like a cricket?
I think
it's like big buttons.
What? It's a thing?
It's like for old people.
It's got big buttons.
Big buttons, big
Or
text.
for large hand gentlemen.
Oh, yeah. Joke over.
From my couch in St. Louis, culture, vision, big picture stuff, type of stuff that moves the needle. Now, you can hear the pause come through the line, like the warm, welcoming whistle of a crossing guard at Lambert barking at arriving tourists. Not a no, not a yes, just that long Midwestern exhale, and then we're all done there. I call my agent back. He says, now we build buzz. I said, how? He goes, free podcast hits, Facebook posts, a Patreon for a market that will never exist, delete the stuff that doesn't land, be the first guy in the history of Reddit to get kicked off of Reddit. Doesn't matter. Exposure, preferably shows you're not even on. Then write blogs about podcasts, not yours, just every local podcast you've heard of. Be adjacent. So there I am, popping up unpaid like a guy handing out flyers outside a club I can't get into. Real thought leadership stuff. The kind of presence that makes people say, he's everywhere except he's nowhere all at the same time. And sure enough, he says, just wait. They'll come back. 16 months later, old station reaches out. Needs 5 golden hours a week. I said, I'll do 4. Leverage. Not a job. More like a nostalgia lease. Smaller room than I left. Warmer, tighter. Cameras doing their best. Suck it, Ned Reynolds. That's from Jerry Big Tank Del Vecchio. Click the link to my Calendly to schedule a demo.
Jerry Big Tank Del Vecchio.
I think promoting listeners lunching on railroad tracks or meeting under the flagpole during a lightning storm is solid listener engagement. beef recognize beef, and someone has some deep underlying unprocessed issues with the Queen of Clayton. It's refreshing to see rich white women and the randos who like to put them down. Cheers to you, listener, for taking it out on the text line for the rest of us to pick apart and diagnose. As the mildly proud owner of a psychology degree from the University of Missouri, I can tell our listener that holding all that rage in is unhealthy and will only build resentment. Like a full bladder at a rest stop urinal, you got to let it flow. Pour it out into the world and sit back and watch the flames ignite. We're all a little better and a little brighter because of you. Cheers. That's from Bro Fallon.
Bro Fallon.
Sure, I worry about the future and the environment and communities, and that's why I spend much of my day white knighting on social media. But do you know what really scares me? If Harrison's brother Master and Sharon really do hook up, what will it sound like in 20 years when their kids are calling into this program as it's being hosted by one of Tim's kids, and Jackson, and Doug?
It's still going to be here?
There is nothing else in the world that threatens humanity to this extent. That's from Shooter McGavin, the vice president of the Mizzou Club, really putting Beaker Doug in his place.
Shooter McGavin.
I was president both of Bob Forsch's no-hitters. I was at the Monday Night Miracle. I watched the Wizard go yard against Dan Tana's ditzy assistant Judy Lander's husband Tom Niedenfuer in Game 5. But they all pale in comparison to Tim's show today. People say I'm the life of the party because I send an email or two. Although I might be laughing loud and hearty, deep inside I'm blue. So if you see me on Facebook with my beard, seeming like I'm having Jefferson County fun, although she may be cute, she's just a substitute. Because, Doug, you're the permanent one. So take a good sit on my right there at the end.
Kevin.
Right there was a word.
That was Kevin Miller, wasn't it?
No, it was Cayman, and then the last name is Zittim? I don't know what that ethnicity is.
Zittim.
I've never seen it, so it's tough to pronounce.
It sounds Middle Eastern.
I don't know.
Cayman's a team.
My worst breakup, my college boyfriend, Rusty. I can still see his face when he broke up with me after my field hockey game. It's over. Find somebody else to nibble on your groin area skin tags?
Oh,
Doug, that's
gosh.
from Midge.
Oh.
And finally, morning,
Midge.
gentlemen. In a world filled with adulterous affairs and Rupert Holmes-esque situationships, I'd like to say I'd never be tempted to cheat on this show. No quirky, nerdy flings or meaty, jock-fueled ravaging will happen here. Like Tammy Wynette said, stand by your man. And I'm here to declare, Timmy, Jackie O, Douglas, Martini, and Kirky Boy, that you have my heart, my soul, and my love. Cheers, and God bless America. Doug, that's from Mongo.
Mongo.
And that's what we have.
Okay.
For the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day, we shall vote. We'll announce the winner at 10:55, and then you'll have BK and Ferrario at 11 o'clock. Martin, I believe we have a friend on the program on the line, and I know he's got a heart out, so we're going to get to him on the other side of the break. It might just be Jeff Suppan. This is TMA 101 ESPN.
This is Jackson with a SportsCenter update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. Tonight on 101 ESPN, Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the Canadiens for Game 5. Pre-game at 5:30, puck drop at 6. That was another SportsCenter update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. You'll be saying, I love my windows.
Welcome back. It's TMA 101 ESPN. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Martin Kilcoyne with you on the show. Jackson Burkett on the ones and twos. Chairman Kurt filtering emails and phone calls here on the program. We have been joined by Jeremy Rutherford, giving us answers to two-part questions. And 2 segments ago, joined by Cardinal starter Mike McGreevy, where the Redbirds got the win last night over the Pittsburgh Pirates, and their surprise starter Jeff Suppan, who joins us now on the Callier and Thompson phone lines. He came out of retirement last night and threw a few innings for the Pirates. It was fun to see, Sup.
It sure was.
You know, I just try to keep the ball down, change speeds, and work fast, give the defense a chance, and, you know, just went pitch by pitch and just try to stay on the corners, you know, and you know, luckily the offense picked us up today, and it was a good win.
Well, I'll tell you what, you might lose the velocity with time, but the ability to answer questions with cliches is timeless.
Hey, cliches are cliches because they are true.
How about that?
Okay, I don't say cliches that I don't believe it. Okay, and my brother Mike, who's a teacher, he's a funny guy. He actually told me one time after, I don't know, let's say 15 years, he goes, do you think you can change your quotes? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, dude, you say the same thing. And I went back to high school. My dad was the first scrapbooker in my family. And I went back to my high school newspaper clippings. And do you know I had similar quotes then, too?
Now, McGreevy just said they were helping out a fellow youngster in the clubhouse with what to say to the media, and they said just keep it kind of positive, focus on your teammates, and keep it kind of brief. It sounds like you guys all get schooled at some point.
Okay, so when I came up with the Red Sox, they taught us the ABCs, okay? And I loved it, and I tell my kids, I tell everybody, the ABCs. I really can't answer that question, but what I can tell you is, and now it's your interview. So, I mean, sometimes you get hit with questions you don't remember. Like, they would ask me what pitch I threw, and I didn't remember the pitch. Or they ask you a tough question, and then you can tell them really what you want, and radio and print is obviously different. And then, you know, keeping it simple is important because as a starting pitcher, you know, I didn't want to say anything. I was worried about what my quotes were the next day. Like, oh, did I say that? Was that too much? I don't want to make anybody mad. And, you know, Roger Clemens told me, he goes, hey, here's the bottom line. When you do well, you give all the credit. And when you do bad, you take all the blame. And that was the way interviews were done. I mean, then you get people who talk off the cuff, which is fine, but you can get in trouble. I mean, that creates a lot of rifts in locker rooms at times.
Well, guys, by the way, I had Soup on TV last night on the 2 Fox. We recorded a little Zoom interview, and he corrected me. I kept saying Little League ball and West Hills Little League. He said, sorry, it's Pony. I didn't know the difference, but I looked at Protect Our Nation's Youth is what Pony stands for, but it says they use real baseball rules, including leading off and stealing bases at a younger age, closer to mimicking high school rules. I was not aware. So Pony, is it a little more aggressive than Little League?
Well, basically, Little League was the first. It started, whatever, in 1930, and then Pony started in 1950s, and that's what they did. So, like, I played Pony baseball at West Hills. I started at 8 years old. And there were steals, everything. I mean, I got tagged out by this kid, and I didn't even know what happened, right? So I'm learning the rules. So it's a little more advanced, and that was there for a long, long time. And then obviously then you have travel where they're playing 9-inning games for 8-year-olds with double headers too, and pitching. So like I like Pony because it goes in progression. And I got in an argument with the manager, believe it or not, in the Pinto division, which are 8-year-olds. And when my daughter was in the 8-year-old version of softball, the board used to call it crazy eights because the parents start to get crazy, right? Because now they're hitting balls and this and that. And so for me in this argument with this manager, he was telling me about some rule, blah, blah, blah. And I said, listen, this is not real baseball. He goes, what do you mean this is not real baseball? I go, well, 8 and 9-year-old baseball is not real. 9 and 10, 11 and 12, 13 and 14 is not real baseball. It is not real baseball until you play 90-foot bases and 60 feet 6 inches. That's the real game. This is all modified so kids can play. And I believe Pony Baseball does a really good job of modifying the game so they can play.
Yeah, that's why California has, Tim, they have so many big leaguers. It's not because they're superior athletes, and it's because of pony ball.
Oh, pony ball.
It's the pony ball.
And the weather, they can play year-round. That helps.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Makes you say that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of it.
Well, I mean, you have Florida, you have Arizona, Texas, California. You have better weather. I mean, it doesn't mean they're better. It just means they might be more advanced because they got an opportunity to play more.
Okay, all right.
Just saying.
And I'm told you have a hard out today because you're going to Mass.
Got Mass here in 5 minutes.
Okay, well, it adjusted. Parenting is a game of adjustments. Okay. And I was told that Brody actually has a doctor's appointment this morning, so I'm driving out to the doctor's appointment instead of going to Mass. But don't worry, I'm going to hit it up another day of the week. So I do have more time. I have a little bit more time if you guys need it. If I can help.
Okay, questions for...
I still have a question.
Oh, you have a question.
I'm taking questions. Doug will not take questions.
Boy, unless they're really good ones.
Okay, so that was the first time I was early to work, and I got to listen a little bit longer. And so you guys take letters and from your fan base. And you read them on
fan
there?
base is a term I don't know if I would use, but the people who listen to the show despite hating it would be a more accurate way to describe them. But yeah, we take text throughout the show, and I would say we get I don't know, in the realm of around, I don't know, Jackson, what do you think? You tell me.
600 to 800.
600 to 800 texts per show. Then we've got a YouTube chat that currently has people in there talking right now. They watch the show and they talk it over. Then we take phone calls, of course, and then also the segment you heard was our Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. And for example, in the month of January, Soup, the person who won the most emails of the day received a brand new $10,000 HVAC system from Design Air Heating and Cooling. So people were rewarded for winning the email of the day. And it's like the standings in the National League Central. Whoever accumulates the most wins at the end either gets to advance to the playoffs or gets an HVAC system. It's up to you.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind that roofing thing that I listened to the other day.
Oh, yeah, Roofer Store. Roofer Store.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that is awesome. It's like a mechanic for your roof. I had no idea.
Yep, that's correct.
Well, I mean, I did like your one listener who was talking, who dropped, what's the nickname he gave you? Kirky? What did he say? It was Jackson Jacko and
Jackie O, yeah. Jackie O.
Jackie O. And Jackson, by the way, did a great job reading. I heard that before the break.
Oh, your update. He's doing his updates to show off for the guests on hold. That's what Martin believes goes on.
Every time we have a guest, it's update time. I lose track of the updates, but every time the guest is on hold, I see Jackson over there going,
Yep, resume reel.
Rolls it off.
No, that was huge. That was huge. You're welcome. And don't think I didn't notice. Okay? I just want to say, credit. You got to give credit where credit's due.
Hell yeah, appreciate that.
Soup dropped
I believe it.
Soup dropped a LaRusso line last night that I had not heard before, where you said players often said that Tony had a 70-30 rule. He paid 70% of his attention to the top 30%, like the stars, and then the rest of the guys, which Soup would fall into, the other 70%, he'd pay attention to you guys about 30% of the time. So that was a real thing.
Well, that was from another coach that told me that on a different team, and I had never heard of that. And I was like, oh, okay. But it makes sense.
It does kind of make sense.
You know?
Well, you got to keep the stars happy, or no one's happy.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
You need everybody, so I mean, you know, you help out the others. But yeah, so I mean, that was a nice interview, Martin. That was I felt very like official. Like I felt like felt very pro.
He was surprised to see me, Tim, because I had a sport coat. I had my hair combed. It was very
you were dialed up.
Yeah, it was very un-radio-like. But, yeah, life was a delight. And telling the stories how Roger Clemens came to the Cardinal clubhouse after Game 7 of the 0-4 loss, trying to congratulate
No
Soup.
way. I didn't know the story.
Yeah, he said Clemens and Biggio actually came over after losing Game 7 at Busch to congratulate Soup and the Cardinals.
Really? Can I hear? I know you did it on television. I didn't see it. Can I hear a little of that?
Well, so I was, that was the first time I actually, I invited my family in. I mean, previously, you know, it was kind of like, this is our office, you know, I mean, I would invite my family in way before or way after, but it didn't really happen that often. So my brothers were in there, and I was hanging out with them and celebrating after that win. And then I think it was Rip. Rowan, he was like, hey, listen, you know, Roger came in. He was, I mean, I'm sure they were there to congratulate other players, but it was a class act. And he asked for me, and I guess he couldn't find me. And, but I really appreciate that. I never got a chance to tell him that, but I just think that's, you know, that was the class that was in the game and with those two veteran teams.
And because you'd come up in the Red Sox organization, so when you were young, you also knew Clemens.
I did, yes. And so it was the best because, you know, I tried to be a good rookie, right? So when, you know, we used to do the bucket after the day we pitched. So it was, you know, we'd be in the outfield and Roger had just pitched. And after one round, he would say, Rook! And I would sprint in. And I was so proud to be called a rookie, a Rook, you know? And so I did the bucket the rest of the way for him. And then every other time he did the bucket after the first round, he didn't have to call my name. I ran up and did the bucket for him. And then there was another time on a flight, and he's sitting behind me. You know, the rookie sat in the front, and I guess he was up in the front that day, or at the front of the middle of the airplane. So he rings the call button. And he starts talking to the flight attendant, and he goes, hey, this kid is 20 years old. I don't want to see any beers 2 rows in front of him or 2 rows behind him. So when I got called up, I was 20 years old. I was there for, 3 weeks. And but we didn't have a whole lot of baseball conversations, but we had conversations like that. And it was a great experience to watch him work and do his business.
He has a pretty good argument for being the best pitcher in the history of the game with 7 Cy Youngs. You think he should be in the Hall of Fame or no? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, to be honest with you, I'm glad I don't have to vote. I think they're tough decisions, and I think
here's that media training, Doug. Here's the media training coming in play.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard question. I don't know. I don't know the right answer, to be honest with you. So, I mean, he had a great career, and I don't know. I mean, I think he certainly has Hall of Fame numbers.
And I have to say, dealing with him a handful of times, he was always great. Very pleasant, yeah. Because you wouldn't think that watching him on the mound, but he was actually pretty pleasant.
He was an intense competitor, and he was a funny guy. I mean, off the field, he was very funny, and he did that one, was it Dumb and Dumber or whatever movie? I mean, he went with it. I mean, that was his own lines that he was saying, and he's a great golfer, and certainly. Hall of Famer in my book, but, I don't vote, and what does it really matter what my opinion is on the matter anyway?
Wow. Well,
he workshopped into a non-answer there, Doug. Do you feel better about it now?
Well, sort of,
okay.
Now you've begun it. Soup,
Doug, you gave me a tough question.
Sorry, I wasn't thinking about it.
Pointed. Well, that's what happens when you appear on your 11th straight show. I mean, once you're on 11 plus straight shows,
gloves are off.
You get put to the test. Gloves are off. That's right. Yep.
All right, I'll be ready.
Soup, we appreciate the time as always. Thank you so much, Doug. That's 11 straight shows, and Doug threw high and tight on you today, didn't he?
He really did. He threw high and tight, and then he gave me the curveball after it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he gave it in such a gentle way.
Yeah.
Doug's very folksy.
What do you think, you know?
He's folksy. Appreciate it, Soup. Thanks so much.
You guys be well.
Take it easy. That's Jeff Suppan with us here, live from Southern California.
He had a heart out, Tim, but then he didn't have a heart out. It's hard to plan this hour for poor papers and you guys that have afters and before shows and during shows.
That's correct.
Hard to plan when the heart out is moving.
It's a moving target. You can plan to go see Dr. Brandon Pryor by going to 100westdental.com right now. 100westdental.com. Dr. Pryor knows that going to the dentist office isn't something that everybody looks forward to doing, but he incentivizes you, and he makes the process as seamless as possible. Most dentists are going to charge you $500 just to find out what's wrong, not Dr. Pryor. This is for the TMA audience. Dr. Pryor is waiving the cost of a 3D scan and implant consultation. That's a $450 value on the house, just to see if you are a good candidate. So get your smile and your life back. Call 100 West Dental. They're on Manchester in Baldwin. Call them at 636-585-0100 or visit 100westdental.com to schedule right from your phone. Tell them I sent you for a complimentary implant consult. It's 100 West Dental. Dr. Brandon Pryor, 100westdental.com. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Martin Kilcoyne, Jackson Burkett, Chairman Kurt with you on the program. This is TMA, presented by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN. Been talking with Ryan Luchtefeld quite a bit here as of late, and man, it has been a really easy process to work with Ryan Luchtefeld at Delmar Mortgage. At Delmar Mortgage, 60 years of a family-owned business. Ryan himself has been working with them for the last 13. He's been in the mortgage industry for 22 years. He knows the industry, and he says, give him a call. He is welcoming you to call him directly on his personal number at 618-593-3608. That's 618-593-3608. Personal, local touch, but with all the necessary technology to make the process smooth and easy. And as somebody who is in the midst of the process, I can tell you that firsthand. It is smooth. It is easy. Uploading the documents that they need. It takes about, I would say, maybe 2 to 3 minutes. Couldn't be any easier. Pre-approvals and fast-track options that'll make your offer stick out to local sellers and listing agents can all be found there at DelmarMortgage.com. His number is 618-593-3608. It's Ryan Luchtefeld and Delmar Mortgage. don't know if this is a real song or Chairman Kurt AI. What do you think, Doug?
I think this is the real thing. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's another cuck song?
No. Soul Boys to Men.
Well, I guess it gives you perspective, Doug.
It really does. I didn't have any before, but boy, now I sure do.
The program's called TMA. It's 101 ESPN and the TMA STL YouTube channel. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Martin slides out for onboarding. Chairman Kurt slides into the dais here in the Stiefel studios, and little Jackie Papers, who loved that Rascal Puff, with you here on the program. And we welcome you to participate by texting in, calling in, or by talking it over on the TMA STL YouTube channel. Cardinals trying to make it 3 in a row as they beat the Pirates last night. Ali Marmol talking about Kyle Leahy's start as he gets his 3rd win of the year. How about that? He's got 3 wins. Kyle Leahy, 3rd win of the year.
He had the pitches to do it. It's one of those situations where the scorer is allowing you to continue to let him go out there and experience it. You can see he's running into a little bit of a wall, but he did a really nice job with that lineup. Mixed well, was landing all his pitches. The lefties gave him trouble there 3rd time through, but it was good for him to feel that.
They've got the analytics that show the 3rd time through is really a difference maker for starting pitchers. That's why so many of them get yanked in the 5th or 6th.
Yeah. And that's why we see the bullpen. So the Cardinals will try to take advantage of a gassed Pittsburgh bullpen tonight and make it 3 in a row. And then that would allow them to have a little room should it not go well tomorrow against the Cy Young winner and Paul Skeens for the Busman special in Pittsburgh before they come home to take on the Los Angeles Dodgers. You may have been listening in the 9 o'clock hour when Mike McGreevy called in and raved about the number of fans that the guys saw for the Mariners series. Hopefully they will see that this weekend for the Dodgers series. Hopefully the weather cooperates. Cardinals and Dodgers this weekend. It begins a homestand that also includes the Milwaukee Brewers. Hey, if you are feeling sluggish, tired of waking up, exhausted, dad bod starting to weigh on you, check out Mentality online at lowtusa.com. Right now, all new patient labs will be covered in your treatment plan, and that's a savings of $250 right out of the gate with Mentality. At Mentality, they start by listening. They'll run real labs and explain your results in plain English, then build a personalized, science-backed plan using hormone therapy and FDA-approved peptide treatments to help get your brain and body back on track. So stop telling yourself and everyone around you that you're fine. Check out Mentality and go to lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com, LOWTUSA.com. The program's called TMA. It's presented by Brown & Crouppen on 101 ESPN. Man, this Ween Wednesday is sick. It's TMA 101 ESPN. Shows broadcasting from the Stiefel Studios. You can watch it on the TMA STL YouTube channel. Joined by Mike McGreevy, Jeremy Rutherford, Jeff Suppan on the program. You can podcast like the Dickens anytime you would like via the Schaefer Door Company podcast app or by watching on YouTube and talking it over. Doug, a friend of the program, Mike Francesa, had not been doing a podcast for a couple weeks. Now, considering the state of things in New York with the Mets, people had been missing him, wondering where he's gone.
Sure.
It's a big article in the New York Post this morning. And Jackson has the audio with the explanation.
Okay. Maybe now would be the time to play that. Please, papers, hit the lever.
Over the last 13 days or so. I've been away, obviously. All you crazies on the internet who came up with every possible reason, including my death, as to why I have been away during this time. It was planned. And let me say a couple of things about that. Number one, I had meetings with the Bet Rivers folks and my whole crew. Went out to dinner with them 2 nights before I went into the hospital for knee replacement surgery, which I did 12 days ago. I want to take a second and thank the doctors. Dr. Haas, who's the best there is in special surgery, my buddy over there, Jeremy, Dr. Kelly's crew, and everybody for being so hospitable to me. Treated me great. So thank you to HSS, who are the best in the world at what they do. On the road to recovery, it's not easy. Getting a knee replacement. I had a knee replacement surgery 25 years ago on my left knee. I never wanted to get it again. I never wanted to do it again. I got to a point where I had no choice. The doctors told me it was getting dangerous if I didn't do it. I was bone on bone, and I was starting to, they were worried about infection and different things. So they said, I know you can live with it, but you can't live with it, okay? So we decided this a while ago. All the folks I deal with, the Bet Rivers, including Adam, who'd come in from Chicago, had dinner with us right before the... And the amazing thing was, I decided, you know what? I don't think I'll be out that long, so let's just not say anything. We said nothing, okay? I was in and out of the hospital. I was only in the hospital
we know
overnight.
I was out. He had knee replacement surgery. One sentence would have done it.
I'm not capable of doing anything. I couldn't move much. So I wasn't eating. Hey, when you have this kind of surgery, and it's, hey, they're great at it, but it's still major, major surgery. It's knee replacement. And when you have it, and you're not 30 years old anymore, it knocks you for a loop. This knocked me for a loop. I got to watch everything because I always watch everything, but I mean, that's all I did. So then the craziness started. Jack would say to me, Dad, they're saying all kinds of crazy things about you on the internet. You got to respond. I said, hey, I've gone this far, let it go. Harrison, Dad, they're going nuts on it. Look at this one. Look at that one. And they start sending them to me, okay? And then friends start sending them to me. Then guys in the business start sending them to me. And then guys who are big guys in the business, like Barry Watkins, say, you got to say something. This has gotten crazy. It's gotten silly. You got to say something. I said, no, I've gone this far. I'll wait. I'll be back, okay, after the weekend. Let's wait. I told everybody, let's wait. Here's the amazing thing. Everybody special surgery knew I was there. Everybody at Bet Rivers knew I was doing this. My whole crew who came in to have dinner, a steak dinner with me the night before I went in the hospital on Long Island, all knew about it.
Oh, for heaven's sakes! He had surgery. He was out 2 weeks. Okay, that's not that unusual.
One person leaked
Thank you.
a thing about it. Not one anywhere. They let all the craziness go on and just sent me all the crazy things. A guy who said that my studio was broken and I wouldn't fix it because I was in a dispute with Bet Rivers. I guess he found that out when he came and visited my house while I was in the hospital. I don't know, but that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Number one. Number two, all the way to me being very sick to me dying. Guys were sending me things about me having died. I'm like, hey, you know, I had a good run. I had a nice life. I can't complain, really.
Very good, Doug.
For heaven's sakes.
So where was he?
He was out. He had knee replacement surgery. Okay. The question comes up. Where have you been? Well, I had knee replacement surgery. Okay. End of conversation. Got it. Wouldn't that be enough?
My mom's had both knees and hips replaced. This guy's an absolute bitch. That's a Tim's high school buddy. He's not buying it, Doug.
It just took him so long to explain it. Okay, he's 70-something. I understand. You had surgery. You need a couple weeks off. Okay. That's it.
Guys, this is like if Iggy became famous. That's from Chairman Steve. He's in Des Moines. Sharon and Clayton, thoughts and prayers to his wife who had to take care of that gigantic man baby during his recovery. Dave Hay says he is Iggy with money. Yeah, Doug. So there were theories going around, but now we will get clarification tomorrow as to what really happened.
And he was secretive about it for a while. No, I can't say anything. I haven't said anything yet. Why would I say anything now? Just tell people. Who cares?
And Heath Slaycott.
Yes,
he hasn't come fast enough.
Man's making millions a year in this business. He's got it figured out. He's a winner. He's got it all figured out. We don't. I just don't understand it sometimes.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say?
Well, he's up there and has made millions of dollars for many years. Just talking about himself.
But he's got people in his home looking for his studio.
Nick in Pittsburgh. What's up, Nick?
Oh, hey, Mike. First-time caller.
Yeah.
First-time caller. I just want to. I'm a Yankees fan. I'm a diehard Yankees fan. I just, tonight was a rough night.
You know what? I'm done.
Oh, you broke his heart. Oh, you broke his heart.
It's tough.
Yeah, Martin was talking with, I don't know who it was. Was it McGreevy? Was it Suppan? Was it Jeremy Rutherford? The landing the plane on the Burwell and Paris show.
Yeah.
They said, you got to land the plane. If you call in, land the plane.
Right. Hit the hole.
And so you see right there from Francesa, you don't land the plane.
Okay. But if someone asks you, hey, why have you been out for 2 weeks? Wouldn't you, first of all, have told them beforehand, I'm going to be gone a couple of weeks, I'm having a knee surgery? Who cares? Okay, got it. You'll be back in 2 weeks. See you then. End of story.
Loose lips sink ships, Doug.
Tupac said that, didn't he? And I Get Around. 1993, right?
I don't know.
Seemed like they were having a barbecue at a pool.
Oh, I don't know what they were doing. I don't know.
I Get Around.
What's your favorite barbecued meat, Doug?
Oh, pork steak.
Oh, God.
Man, you are meat and potatoes.
St. Louis through and through.
Amen.
I like a pork steak.
Hey, don't apologize to me for that.
Okay.
South Side Dirty, 63109. Where are you? Imagine living in Des Moines or Clayton and including it in your text name as if it's a flex. That's from Wedding Tackle, and it sounds like he has declared war on Chairman Steve.
Really?
Wow. Out of nowhere.
Is Des Moines high dollar?
Jackson, I don't even know where it is.
Yeah.
I don't even know where it is.
Des Moines got some real nice areas.
That's just west of Forest Park. Is that considered Des Moines?
Yes. Yes, I would say so.
Some big old houses, centuries old.
Yeah. A lot of condos,
houses.
too.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a very nice area. Clayton as well, obviously.
Yeah.
Sharon.
Parts of U City. Very, very, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
But, Doug, I thought you guys were big, fantastic stars who made millions. What about your gold bullion, the Barnoff region? Were they all lies? That's from Mr. Nipples.
It does help. To get the bullion, it helps with the maintenance of the Barnoff. I'll say that. Doesn't necessarily mean I've got multiple millions.
What about with the question coming from a man named Mr. Nipples?
Yeah,
I didn't even consider
priceless.
that.
Yeah. James Carlton will take care of you should you want to manage your billions and have any risk management. Well, there's James Carlton, the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency, to help your cause. 314-961-4800. Go online at carltoninsurance.com. FanDuel.net. He has been my insurance agent for the last 7 years. He is now Jackson Burkett's insurance agent. Jamie Rivers made the switch. Couldn't believe the thousands of dollars he started saving in October when he made the switch to James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. 314-961-4800. Go online at carltoninsurance.net. James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. He was there at the Tiger Club meeting yesterday at Llewellyn's and Webster Groves. Big Missouri fan. I'm a big fan of his. James Carlton. 314-961-4800. Go online at carltoninsurance.net. If your insurance costs a leg and an arm, call James Carlton State Farm. The program's called The Morning After. It's presented to you by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN. FanDuel has a wonderful opportunity for you with their happy hour. FanDuel's serving up a happy hour every day during the playoffs. Talking special drops you won't want to miss, from profit boosts to bonus bets and more. And the best part, it is every single day. So whether you're betting the early game or gearing up for prime time, make sure you open the FanDuel app and see what is waiting for you today. Do we have a play out there?
I'll give you a play. Cardinals at Pirates tonight. The over-under's 8.5. It's Andre Palante pitching against Bubba Chandler. Both pitchers have struggled at times this year. Cardinals swinging the bats very well last night.
Going on.
I'm going to say go over on this Cardinal Pirate game. I could see 5-4. I could see 6-4.
There it is. They got the wind blowing out for you tonight, too, Doug, if you're interested at 12 miles an hour. There it is. Cardinals and Pirates over from Doug Vaughn. That is the play. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Jackson with the Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Cardinals Pirates tonight, 5:40 p.m. first pitch with Andre Palante on the mound for the Redbirds. That was another Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Welcome back. It is the Morning After 101 ESPN and the TMA STL YouTube channel. We welcome you to participate in the program by texting in 314-399-9646. Then decide which listener you want to declare war on. And it sounds like Wedding Tackle has chosen Chairman Steve in Des Moines. He said earlier, Doug, imagine living in Des Moines or Clayton and concluding your text name as if it's a flex. His follow-up 2 minutes later, the guy paid $2,000 a month to rent an apartment in Ballpark Village in the heart of a desolate city and then moved to the west side of a wannabe Central Park.
Oh,
boom.
gosh.
Off we go. Boom, and off we go. Forest Park is a wannabe Central Park?
Forest Park's nicer than Central Park.
Certainly bigger.
Much bigger. Forest Park is the jewel of the city.
You ever been to St. Louis U High?
I was going to say Francis Park.
I agree.
Oh, gosh.
About yesterday.
Yeah, like the wiffle ball area.
The wiffle ball area is the best part.
I'll take Forest Park. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
A couple of golf courses there. Beauty Opera's there.
Jewel Box.
Oh, the Jewel Box is there.
Yeah, that's
the zoo.
Best place to meet people.
At the Jewel Box?
One Cardinal Way is way more than $2,000 a month.
That's what I was thinking when I saw that.
In the Bridgeton landfill fume huffer. I wonder
Maybe
if he
three.
is friends with Chairman Steve.
One could assume.
3,000 or more a month, I would think.
Yeah, I would bet.
There's no way of knowing. There's no way of knowing.
Why don't you move in there, Doug?
I'm not interested.
Doug, the same family designed both parks. That's from the 541.
Did they really?
Yeah, it's a fun
That's pretty
fact for
cool.
one town.
Yeah.
BK and Ferrari are going to be coming up here in a matter of moments, but before we adjourn to head down the hallway, and you can just keep watching on youtube.com/TMASTL because we'll be doing After the Morning After from 11 to 12. Then I'm doing Spread Zone from 12 at 12:30. Is that right, Doug? 12:30?
I think so.
And I do not talk to Rizzuto or Stalter.
I wouldn't.
These radio wars are so intense.
Yeah.
It's awkward in the studio. Then Jackson and I are going to do the Tim McKernan Show podcast, QFTA, and that's 12:45 on the YouTube channel.
That works.
12:45 to 2. You can email in anything you want for us to discuss at tmckernan at InsideSTL.com. And then I have a doctor's appointment, and we're going to live stream that on the TMA YouTube.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You have the doctor's permission?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Take my chances. Missouri's a one-party state, right?
Yeah, and it's just for the leg length, I think.
Right.
Oh, that's what this is for. Oh, that's right.
It's a Zoom call.
Okay.
Over to China.
They do both legs at the same time?
My dad got him to do it.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just one at a time.
Correct. And then I got to keep flying back and forth.
Right.
Twice the recovery,
to
too.
Wuhan. Jackson, what is the winner here for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day for April 29th, 2026?
It's hard to stop a force. Big Tank Del Vecchio.
Wow, Jerry Big Tank Del Vecchio. Doug, as you heard, he used to have a show on a flamethrower of an HD9 in Waterloo, Illinois.
Okay.
Then he was, I don't know if he said it was a retirement, and then he came back into work in Springfield and used leverage. So Jerry Big Tank Del Vecchio has won the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. And is that 3 in a row?
3 in a row.
Sure is.
3 in a row.
Congratulations to Big Tank. We're heading down the hallway. You can just stay on your YouTube channel and hang out with us at youtube.com/TMASTL. All that coming your way. BK and Ferrario here on 101 ESPN. For Jackson Burkett, for Chairman Kurt, for Martin Kilcoyne, for Jeff Suppan, for my brother Kevin, for Douglas Elvin Vaughn, I'm Tim McKernan. This has been The Morning After, and it's presented to you by Brown and Crouppen from the Stiefel Studios.